sure toils and sneered. We have already come. Was grace that brought us safe so far, and grace will lead us home. Amazing grace, amazing grace, amazing grace, our
There was an old farmer in Dorset did dwell, Lily Valera, la, and he had a wife that many knew well, Lily Valera, la, Lera, Lera, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la, Lera, Lera, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la. The devil came to the old man at the plough, Lily Valera, la, one of your family I must have now, Lily Valera, la. It's not your oldest son that I crave, but 'tis your wife, and she I must have, Lero, Lero, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la.
Now welcome, good Satan, with all of me heart,
Lily Valera, la.
I hope you and she will never more part,
Lily Valera, la. Now Satan has got the old wife on his back, he's lugged her off like a peddler's pack, Lero, Lero, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la. He trudged away till they came to his gate, Lily Valera, la. Come and take in this old farmer's mate, Lily Valera, la. She saw 30 nymphs all dancing in chains, she ups for their boots and beats out their brains, Lero, Lero, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la. She knocked out Satan against the wall, Lily Valera, la. Let's turn her out or she'll murder us all, Lily Valera, la. He's bundled her up on his back and then to her own husband he's took her again, Lero, Lero, Lily Valera, Lily Valera, la. I've been a tormentor the whole of me life, Lily Valera, la. But I've never tormented like this farmer's wife, Lily Valera, la. Lero, Lero, Lily Valera, 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 Lily Valera, la. The keeper did a hunting go, under his cloak he carried a bow, oh, for to shoot at a merry little doe among the leaves so green. Oh, Jackie boy, master, sing ye well, very well, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, Jimmy, hey down down, Jimmy, ho down down, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, the first doe he shot at he missed, the second doe he trimmed he kissed, the third doe wet where nobody wist among the leaves so green. Oh, Jackie boy, master, sing ye well, very well, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, Jimmy, hey down down, Jimmy, ho down down, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, the fourth though she did cross the plain, the keeper fetched her back again, where she is now she may remain among the leaves so green. Oh, Jackie boy, master, sing ye well, very well, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, Jimmy, hey down down, Jimmy, ho down down, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, the fifth though she did cross the brook, the keeper fetched her back with his crook, where she is now you must go and look among the leaves so green. Oh, Jackie boy, master, sing ye well, very well, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, Jimmy, hey down down, Jimmy, ho down down, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, sixth though she ran over the plain, he with his hounds did turn her again, there he did hunt in a merry merry vein among the leaves so green. Oh, Jackie boy, master, sing ye well, very well, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh, Jimmy, hey down down, Jimmy, ho down down, hey down, ho down, derry derry down among the leaves so green. Oh,
As I was going to Derby, 'twas on a market day, I spied the biggest rancer that ever was fed on hay. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. His ram he had full hooves, sir, and on them he did stand, and every step he took, sir, it covered an acre of land. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. The wool that grew upon him, sir, made 50 packs complete, and that was sent to Flanders to clothe the British fleet. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. The tail was 50 yards, sir, as near as I can tell, and it was sent to Rome, sir, to ring St. Peter's bell. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. This ram he had a head, sir, that reached up to the sky. The eagles built their nets in it, I heard the young ones cry. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. This ram he had 2 horns, sir, that reached up to the moon. A man climbed up in January and didn't come down till June. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. And all the lads of Derby come begging for his eyes, to make them into footballs, for they were football size. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. And if you don't believe me, sir, if you think I lie, just ask the folk of Derby, they'll say the same as I. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same as I. And indeed, lads, it's true, lads, I never was known to lie. If you'd have been in Derby, you'd have seen the same grandmother, she, at the age of 83, took sick into her bed and then her died. And after she was dead, why the will of course was read by a lawyer as we all sat by her side. To me brother it was found she'd left £100, likewise to me sisters I declare. But when it came to me, the lawyer says, I see she's only left you her old armchair. How they tittered, how they chaffed, how me brothers and me sisters laughed when they heard the lawyer declare, Granny's only left you her old armchair. Well, I hardly thought it fair, but I said I didn't care, and in the evening took the chair away. How the neighbours chaffed, me brother he laughed, but said 'twould come in useful someday. When you settle down in life and find yourself a wife, you'll find it very handy, I declare. On a cold and frosty night, when the fire burns bright, you can sit her in your old armchair. How they tittered, how they chaffed, how me brothers and me sisters laughed when they heard the lawyer declare, Granny's only left you her old armchair. Well, what me brother said was true, for in a year or two I settled down in married life. First the lass I court, and then the ring I bought, and so I took her to the church to be me wife. Now me wife and me are as happy as can be, and in the evening when me work is done, I never like to roam, prefer to stay at home, sitting in me old armchair. How they tittered, how they chaffed, how me brothers and me sisters laughed when they heard the lawyer declare, Granny's only left you her old armchair. One night the chair fell down. When I picked it up I found the seat had fallen out upon the floor. And there to my surprise, right before me eyes, lay a lot of notes, £1,000 or more. When me brother heard of this, the fellow I confess he went nearly mad with rage and tore his hair. But I only looked at him and said unto him, Jim, don't you wish you had her old armchair? And they tittered, how they chaffed, how me brothers and me sisters laughed when they heard the lawyer declare, Granny's only left you her old armchair.
T'other day when I was driving down the street, I spied a place to park all nice and neat. The fact the gap was small didn't bother I at all, till the missus hollered from the rear seat.
And she said,
back and back, you're you, back and back round. If he hasn't got the knack and he hasn't back and back, then you'll have to back up or back down. Now them's the sort of comments that I dread. They makes I see blue and then see red. So I turned right open light and said, shut your mouth up tight or I'll park the bloomin' car in there instead. Back and back, you're you, back and back round. If the hasn't got the knack and the hasn't back and back, then you'll have to back up or back down. By this time the queue had formed behind, and me fellow motorists weren't feeling kind. They humped and they swore, which only irked I more, and these words kept going through me mind. And they were back and back, you're you, back and back round. If he hasn't got the knack and he hasn't back and back, then you'll have to back up or back down. A copper came along and said,
hello, you're causing a disturbance, don't you know?
What, me?
You'll have to stop this racket, so you better start to back it.
So I backed it up and parked it on his toe. back, you're you back round. If he hasn't got the knack and the gas and back, then you'll have to back up for back down. Back, you're you back round. If he hasn't got the knack and the gas and back, then you'll have to back up for back down. You'll have to back up for back down. Yeah.
Come landlord, fill the flowing bowl until it doth run over. Come landlord, fill the flowing bowl until it doth run over.
DreamLeague Season 25 is brought to you by Intel Arc, Acer Predator, DHL, Kadia, and 1xBet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the exciting finale of DreamLeague Season 25. I'm ODPixel. I'm here with Avery today. Avery, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. I am looking forward to the conclusion of the longest series I've ever casted, and it's now been like 2 days of casting this series. I'm exhausted. I want a finale. That's what everybody wants to see. How will it end? The season finale episode of this hit TV show.
Absolutely. Everybody's been on the edge of their seats for the last couple of days. And of course, the finale began on Sunday, but what happened before the finale? What the rest of the playoffs? And you can see exactly what went down here. Upper bracket, we had Tundra defeating Paravision to get their ticket straight to the grand finals. And then the slightly longer trip down on the lower bracket, we had Team Spirit. They managed to take out Chimera Esports 2-1. Very exciting series, that one. And then into the lower bracket finals, where they met Paravision, who'd been knocked down 2-0. I mean, at that point already, people were starting to go, all right, maybe Team Spirit's back. And then in the grand finals, we're obviously coming into Game 4's draft, which is what we're going to be going into very soon. But it's 2-1 currently. Spirit, they've got the lead. They're playing for match point. I mean, something about that Sunday, right? Spirit, they're back as better as ever. Right, Avery?
They looked really good. I think most people had them favored to win at that point, right? In terms of the momentum, the way they were playing the map, the way they were playing the fights. I think Tundra might have been able to pull back, but of course we'll never know. We have to go into some new games, and that's going to be really interesting. Like, who continues their stride here? Does Spirit retain their form, or were they just on a hot streak? But they were looking damn good in that finals for sure.
Absolutely, bringing out some of the special stuff there. We got to the Collapse Void, something that was getting banned out against them. And it was because he's been playing it so much in the pubs. It's been the new hot thing for him to do. But crazy games, right? This game one, sum it up for me.
I mean, this game was just Radon show. Like, he was like 18-4, 19 or something. He had 1,000 XPM, 1,000 GPM on a Furion. Just absolutely obliterated that game. Then we went into the next game. It was 33 on the Abaddon. Absolutely 1v5 that game, put the team on his back. Then we ended up in this game with the Radon Slark, who once more shifted it to Spirit's favor. But honestly, the Maposhka Bane, that was my MVP in that one, dude. That was one of the best Bane performances I've seen, maybe in my life. Like, he was owning that game. He caught Invoker multiple times in clutch situations that should have just never happened. At one point, he forced an Aeon disc buy out of BZM, and then he didn't slot it in and got caught anyway. This catch was super game-winning. So Spirit were just playing. They had people carrying games from all different positions in that series, and I think that's when this team is the scariest for sure.
Yeah, we had some crazy long games already this year. That game 3, pretty insane one. A real treat here in the grand finals so far from these two teams. So can't wait to see what more they're going to have in store for us going into this potential game 4, maybe a game 5, if Tundra's able to turn things around this game 4. Obviously, to give you guys a refresh, obviously you would have saw there were efforts to start game 4 back on the Sunday. Because they weren't successful, it will be a redraft again today. So this game 4 will be starting from scratch. And as of you probably realized already, I'm here today with Avery because unfortunately Cap, he's still on a flight. He's up in the air somewhere. He's probably tuning in. So hi, Cap. He's watching on the plane Wi-Fi.
I'm sure
plane Wi-Fi is not quite good enough to do the casting on the plane. You know, what do you mean he's sure he's on plane Wi-Fi? I mean, that is expensive. You mean it's not worth the money or what?
He's not casting, so he's having a rough time. I don't know if he wants to tune in. Maybe he's watching from like the airplane bathroom. You know, he went in there. He's cranked the volume up. He wants the stereo audio. You know, he can't listen on headphones. He needs the real experience. He needs to feel like he's in the auditorium. So let's shout out to him on the airplane right now.
Indeed. He'll be able to catch the VODs, of course. But those of you watching live here right now, you're going to be ready to jump to the game. We're going to be able to jump to it very soon. The draft will be coming up. But to go back to what you saw at the weekend on the Sunday, what are you expecting to see here today, Avery?
Hopefully a continuation of the quality in those games, because those were super back and forth games. The team fights were insane. And the biggest meta progression, I think, in that series was the team fight escalation. I think after game 3, Tundra really started to put more of an emphasis on just having 5-man scaling team fight in their drafts, being able to contest Spirit in the team fights in the mid-late game especially. And we saw them draft towards that. So I kind of expect that trend to continue here. And hopefully it does, because I think that creates some really fun Dota to watch. You know, everybody likes the big Earthshaker, Darkseer combo, RP vacuum type stuff. I also think a big trend in that series was how much Spirit were shutting down Dyrachyo. I feel like it was one of Dyrachyo's worst series in a long time in terms of him finding the impact, carrying the games, just spellcasting mechanics. So maybe the break did him some favors. Maybe he's going to come back in like better form. Maybe Tundra will have thought about why his games were so rough and how to adjust them. But those were the two big things for me.
Okay. And in terms of the picks, obviously we're getting stuff like this Bane and this Void coming through, things that we weren't seeing from other teams or being allowed by other teams when it was the case of Spirit, for example. Do you think coming into Game 4, are there still some heroes that these two teams have prepared and are yet to whip out?
I think there's still a couple. I don't think we're going to see that 33 Necrophos again. I think he's probably done with that one. But I was expecting a Radon Bloodseeker at some point. I feel like he has had that hero up his sleeve. He's a big fan of it in almost any patch. I think the hero's super viable. This patch, if we see Pango come out or something like that and it sets up a good Bloodseeker game, I was still kind of expecting that hero somewhere in this series. We saw him bust out the Troll in that game that didn't finish, and he was kind of cooking on that. So I think he's super confident to pick anything. We could see his Drow Ranger come out. That's another like Radon classic, right? And I would not be surprised to see the Sand King for 33 make another appearance, because I think that's a hero that they've gone back to in a couple of these grand finals when they need something to switch it up and still give you like the team fight, the scaling, the flash farming, and be successful. So those are some of the heroes on my radar.
Sure. And what do you imagine the teams have been doing on this this kind of bit of extra time? Obviously, one of the longer series, because of the fact you get this day or so between Game 3 and Game 4. Are you not overthinking it as the teams, or are you going back and watching those replays and looking at, in depth at what's gone on in Game 1 to 3?
That's pretty tough. I think there's a risk you overanalyze stuff in a way. I think if you're Tundra, it might be good, because I think they were on the back foot, and I think they will probably have looked at the drafts especially and figured out where they were winning or losing in those exchanges. I think if you're Spirit, it's a bit harder to do because they were just playing with confidence, right? I don't think they really cared what Tundra were doing in a sense. They were just picking heroes that they felt confident they were going to win with, that they wanted to play. They were busting out some unconventional stuff. It's kind of hard to adjust that back towards a more conventional side, I guess, if we think about it. So I kind of expect them to continue that. I hope they continue that and they don't lose their gusto, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like, let's think outside the box and come up with some creative solutions.
Yeah, no, I think they're gonna be fun. I think we're gonna see them continue to bring that sort of level, because it seemed that this was Spirit very much powering up, and I can't imagine Spirit being a team that kind of powers up and then it kind of dwindles away, right? The Spirit that we're seeing turn up over the duration of DreamLeague Season 25 into these grand finals, that was going to continue into the next tournament, right? It's very clear that this squad it's not a one-hit wonder, right? Once they get going, they're not going to stop.
I mean, these are generational talents on a team that's getting their groove back together, that has won 2 TIs, that's in the debate for GOAT team right? It's not a fluke in any capacity. They were definitely underdogs going into the series, I think, but now it's completely even. And they're firing on all cylinders. Like, Rue has slotted in really nicely to this team. It's given them maybe a bit of fresh air, right? Having a new player. Sometimes it just changes things up, changes the dynamic, the communication, the ideas. I think that goes a long way. And these guys are hungry for another LAN win, I think, too. Like, I think we saw them lock in that grand finals. This team's a different team in grand finals. We've all seen that. It's something else about them. They just become more clutch, more confident. They care less about the risks they're taking and more about what they can achieve. So if they're in that form, they are always a tough team to beat. And I think they will be in that form. Like, they're not gonna give this one up easy, you know?
No. Yeah, same to be said for Tundra, right? I mean, Tundra, there's a reason why, kind of before the playoffs weekend began, right, they were considered the favorites. They've been considerably consistent. And, you know, as we've heard from 33, it means a lot for him to sort of just have this squad that he's been able to build, that it stays at the top, not just at the top really, but is able to get win after win, you know, first place after first place. So he's not going to let that drift away from him easily in the gameplay here, getting into Game 4. So indeed, in case you missed Sunday's episode, the current standing 2-1, Team Spirit at the moment taking the lead. And with that, of course, meaning this Game 4 is match point for Team Spirit to take away the championship title here at DreamLeague Season 25. Let's see if they're able to do it, or Tundra is able to push this to a Game 5, which, you know, we're always down for more Dota 2 here. So everyone's a winner, whatever happens. Let's see what goes down. Draft so far. Looking at the bans. Any surprises here?
No, I think this is pretty much what we're seeing. I do think Night Stalker's gone up in priority between these two teams, but I think that Hero was maybe a little more successful for Spirit than for Tundra, though Tundra had some decent success with the support Night Stalker for Soxa. I think that's where it looks scariest on them, whereas for Spirit, it looks scariest on Collapse. So that's kind of an interesting ban from Spirit, but I think all these heroes are the power heroes. I don't think there's any way Spirit are giving Tundra a Lifestealer in 1,000 simulations of this series. That's just not going to happen. And the other interesting ban, I guess you could say, is this Magnus from Tundra. A hero you want to take away from Spirit, but it's an interesting hero in this series because I think Tundra were very confidently picking the Magnus for Dyrachyo, but was he living up to the performance they needed out of him on that hero? I think there was a lot of debate whether he was or not. So they will take that hero out. They will remove the Radon Furion that decimated them in that game 1, and then we'll go back for the Abaddon. Almost 100% 33 on this, and he is very creative on this hero. See what Spirit want to respond to this hero with, because they were the ones who actually had some success with Abaddon in the series, I felt, more than Tundra did, particularly countering the Magnus in that game 3. Sure. Caused a lot of problems for the team fight in that game. But there's
Tiny. Look at the Tiny. Okay.
Yeah, slips through. So this is a big draft decision from Tundra, like leaving this hero, and then you have to be confident that your first pick is more valuable than having first pick the Tiny, because Tundra will play the Tiny on Dyrachyo for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. A second most banned hero, this Tiny. And, oh yeah, look at that win rate, 25-14. In a world where this hero's being picked that have pretty atrocious win rates, you know, that's quite something. You know, this hero is not one that the stats go against.
I don't know. This is a scary opener if you're Tundra, I think. Like, you gave away Tiny to the second pick, which I think is going to be tough to draft against. And I don't think Abaddon shuts this hero down. He can ruin his laning phase, and he can be an annoying target to jump. But the Tiny definitely just outscales you, and he makes the game really hard the later it goes. If it's even 30, 40, 50 minutes, you're going down that territory, you rather have the Tiny than the Abaddon, I think. I mean, maybe 33 just thinks he's like the Abaddon god. Definitely possible. You know, the ego on this guy, now that he won 2 TIs, he thinks he's like the GO player. He doesn't care anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's getting to himself, but I'd rather have the Tiny in this situation.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the stats. I think Spirit, they're on about a 9-game win streak with Tiny. Ooh. Like, they have not been losing with Tiny. And the last time they were allowed to play it was back in group stage 1, so 15 days ago. Since then,
I don't know.
Never got through. Yeah.
Oh, and like, you know how much flack Tundra are going to get if they took 2 days here, and then their idea was give Spirit this
Give
tiny,
Tiny.
and they get, let's say they get stacked in 20 minutes. You know, it's going to be real bad.
I mean, could it actually be that? But like, I'm looking at the numbers. Like, what is it about Tiny? Like, why is this hero like the one that you just really don't want to let through? Well, what's so crazy about him right now?
Because I think Dota in the last few years, especially, is revolved around these really tanky damage dealers, and that is just Tiny in a nutshell, right? Like, the amount of HP you have to get through on this hero because of the bonus armor, the 4k base HP pool at level 20, and then the fact that he can flash farm with cleave, so he always gets to scale, and he just does so much damage. It's just like the perfect archetype of hero in the patch, because his laning's pretty strong, he can flash farm jungle, he can do ancient stacks, and he becomes incredibly tanky. So you have to find ways to deal with his damage and his HP. And there's just not a lot in Dota right now that teams are confident doing that. I do think there are certain heroes that take advantage of the high HP pool that are in the meta. Like the Winter Wyvern's one. Bloodseeker, in theory, is another. Again, I bring that hero up because we just haven't seen it, but I could see it come out in this game. You can slow him down. Like, I mean, there's like Midnight Pulse and stuff, but you don't want to lane Enigma into this hero. So it's just kind of tricky to find a hero that shuts down his flash farming rate from the lane, but can also deal with him in the team fights. That's the problem a lot of teams have had.
I see. That's pretty. I mean, just because literally in the last month, neither Tundra or Spirit have ever lost when they got time. So it's not as if, like, from Tundra's perspective, they're like, we tried that hero, it's not good, we lost a few games. They never lose with it either. So neither of these teams lose with Tiny. So, yeah, it's going to be quite the test.
It's crazy. It's crazy they gave it, and they could have first picked it too, you know?
They could have.
They'll see if it comes back to bite them. And there's a mobility hero trying to take advantage of the lack of stun from this Abaddon opener. Also was a very successful hero in that series.
Yep.
But it was one that was starting to get countered a little bit. We saw the Bane come out versus the Weaver. We saw Disruptor come out from the Weaver. We will not see either of those. Instead, this is the team fight I was talking about. Tundra do not want to get out team fought here. And they will just slam down the giant echo dong of team fight in these two picks and say, come at us, bro, you know? Like, we're going to 5v5 you. We don't care what you have. Warlock is another hero that can take advantage of Tiny in some ways with the bonds. Like, he's a big bonds target that generally doesn't buy super early BKB compared to a lot of other carries. We've seen players go for, like, the Harpoon, Silver Edge, SNY, something in this category. So he doesn't always get a Dispel early, which makes him a really good bonds target. So I kind of like the Warlock here. Downside is that Weaver matchup really sucks. The lane's kind of bad, and you're just a hero without a disable, where if Weaver gets on you in the backline, he just solo kills you, and it's really hard to deal with.
Ooh, what's going on here? We get Oracle. I mean, you see on the stat, this one also doesn't lose. They're getting some pretty good heroes on Spirit.
I mean, this is
Tiny
a
Oracle.
wild pick. This is not traditionally that common of a Team Spirit hero. Going back the last few years, they do not play this a lot. They've played it a couple times, but it's not. It's not like Insania, you know.
No, they played it once in Group Stage 1. They did it once in Group Stage 1 against Paravision. They won that game in 19 minutes.
They did win it, yeah. They own that game. Baposhka is definitely super capable on the hero. It's just not usually the kind of hero they want. They prefer Baposhka on either like big team fighters or setup heroes. You know, like the Bane, he's played Bounty Hunter. So having him on a backline save, the one backline save he plays is Shadow Demon a lot. So this can be in that kind of setup, but it's kind of cool to see them bust it out. And there's the Pango. I mean, if there were a Bloodseeker game, it's got to be versus Pango Tiny. But I hate calling that hero because every time I've called it, it has not come out. But it is a Duraccio hero, and they might be concerned about the control for this Pango, and Bloodseekers, what else are you going to get at this point in the draft?
I mean, you're not wrong, yeah.
You're pretty locked in. I mean, there's Faceless Void, I guess, but their lineup's terrible with Faceless Void.
And I guess the thing is as well with the Oracle, right? One of the weaknesses you're potentially saying about Spirit against the Warlock in particular, right, is not having that build up with the items that are going to go for the Dispel. Now you've got that support that kind of covers that bit of a weakness, right?
Yeah, 100%. The Dispel here is super useful. You're going to make Tiny way stronger in this game. Like, Fate's Edict on Tiny doesn't disarm him anymore. He's just going to be swinging. You're not dealing magic damage. Tough hero for Shaker to play into if you don't catch the Oracle in the Fissure when you're going in with the combo. That is something you 100% look for, but if you don't land it, that team fight's rough. And it's nice on the lane. Like, you can insta-purge these Abaddon shields. Or insta-purge bonds, depending on where you lane this Oracle, which I don't think is completely out of the question. We've seen teams lane Oracle in that offlane versus the Warlock before. If you really want to just guarantee some hero survives down there. See what Soxa wants. They're going to take carry. Okay, so they'll take the Phantom Assassin. That's like the anti-Oracle hero here, right? Get on the back line, take the save out of the fight. But it does not address control issues versus the Pango. And the matchup versus the Tiny, I think, is hit or miss. Like, Tiny, when he gets to that third or fourth item that's a Silver Edge, he can just stun you, break you, toss you, and you're dead. You just get 100 to 0. I think that matchup is a little spooky later on. But you do get the Warlock PA here, which Tundra they must have a very high win rate with Warlock PA. They're like the Warlock PA team.
Yeah, I think in the last month, PA has been a 71% win rate over 7 games, and the Warlock's been 66% win rate over 6 games. So, yeah, winning pretty good.
I feel like they invented this safe lane too. Like, they were the ones that really showcased how this PA Warlock can just decimate some off lanes. They have maybe the best Warlock player in the world right now in Whitemon. They have one of the best PA players. This is a very strong combination for Tundra, and you have this Abaddon to back it up. So your chances to jump in and burst this PA they're going to be really small windows. You have to make it work here if you're Spirit.
Okay, final bans. Can the Grim ban? Yeah,
that's the Pango control.
I certainly would be.
The only other ones are like Treant and Bane or something, which I don't know if Sox is going to play some of those. He could, I guess, but the other hero that I think comes to mind for me is that Bat Rider, but this Oracle is really blocking that Bat pretty significantly here.
Yeah, that makes it kind of rough, right?
Yep. So I don't think Sox is going to go into that. Like, the support Bat versus Weaver Oracles, it sounds a bit hard. Maybe they just want to jump. Like, maybe they don't care about the early skirmishing, and they just want a hero that can jump. In which case, that Bat is honestly not that bad if you're just planning to jump the Oracle every single time. But I would be surprised if they go for it here. What a silencer game, though. Oh, man.
That's the Sand King gone from Collapse. And Tundra. What do they fancy? Not too much time left on the bonus time as well, so it'll have to be something soon.
It's still that Bounty Hunter. But, okay. This is support Shaker, probably.
You don't think support
Shaker Abaddon? I'm thinking it's still going to be 33 ABBA, and they're just going to fissure block for him if they have to, but just play the roaming Shaker.
Okay. How's roaming Shaker? I feel like we don't really see that nowadays, do we?
Not often, no. It's pretty slow to build up. Like, unless you can get some kills on lane, the early game is really slow and painful. You don't get a lot of levels. You can't really stack too well, I think is another reason we don't see it. Like, generally we see a lot of ranged 4s because you can just double stack jungle. And there will be no Bloodseeker in this game, despite my wishes, but Oracle Lesh. That is something to take advantage of this Oracle, for sure.
All right. So I'm feeling like from the vibe, you're a little bit more certain with what Spirit's got here.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards them slightly. They got this Tiny that is just a monster. They have a decent amount of lockdown for the Storm. It's not some ultra-free Storm game. Like, you have a Leash from the Oracle, you have Stun from the Lesh, potential Yules, you have Rolling Thunder, you have the Tiny with the Avalanche, which is one of the better ones, a lot of burst damage. And then you have this 4 Shaker on Tundra, which I think it's a super high-risk, high-reward pick. Like, when 4 Shaker works, it's incredibly strong. And when it doesn't work, it falls incredibly flat. So I'm just a little worried for this Tundra offlane in terms of, like, did you get enough out of picking Storm here and putting that Shaker into the offlane as a support to justify this kind of setup here? And they're going to have to prove it to me, I think.
Yeah, because it seems a bit of a weird move to do when it comes to, when you don't actually have the last pick mid, right? You know, I could understand it more if it's to kind of get this hero in the mid that counters, you know, whatever the other team's shown with the end of their draft, but that obviously wasn't the case, right, with Lal actually having the ultimate last pick this draft. So, yeah, we'll have to see if this works for Tundra.
Was Huskar still in the pool, or did it get banned? I think it was still in the pool, right? So, I think there's a decent chance Tundra were just not confident enough to put the Shaker mid with the amount of counter picks that were still left.
That's fair. Yes.
And if there's Huskar, like you really have to be worried about Huskar Oracle if it was still in the pool. I'm not 100%. But even things like Viper or Sniper and stuff would have maybe just ruined their day entirely. So I understand not wanting to put the Shaker mid blind here, but it does present a kind of weak offlane on paper. Like this is an offlane that I think Tiny Oracle should free farm against if they don't screw up level 1 and just feed away kills to 33, which we've seen before. That Abaddon game that 33 carried, I thought he had no business carrying. He put it on his back, so maybe repeat performance in the cards here.
Well, let's see. It's all going to be very exciting to see. And of course, you boys and girls at home have been very patient in waiting for this one, but it is now finally here. This Game 4 of the Grand Finals of Dream League Season 25, and we're into the action. Tundra versus Spirit. Can Spirit get that championship title, or will Tundra be able to push this series to a Game 5? That's all going to be very exciting to see. I mean, yeah, Saxa, I've got to check. When do you think the last time Saxa played Shaker? Did he play at all this Dream League?
No, I don't think he's played it for a very long time. Maybe a pub game or something, but I can't remember the last time he played this hero in competitive. It has been quite some time. It's just not a very common 4 right now. Because again, the laning and the stacking, everything's just a little slower and weaker, it feels like, than a lot of the other common 4s. So you really have to hit your timings well, hit your windows well. Ideally, you get a kill or 2 on the lane, and you can gank mid. And that's then you're having a good Shaker game.
Dude, I can tell you the last time Saxa played Shaker, it was 2 years ago, Avery.
Oh my god, that's a really long time.
In terms of pro games. In terms of pub games,
I mean, he was on Tundra 2 years ago again, right?
He was. It was against Liquid. They lost.
That was the last time he was on Tundra. Comes full circle, I guess.
This is going to be fun to see if Shaker supports back. A lot of cool.
He's going to Fissure block.
Exactly. You get this guaranteed sort of setup at the lane position.
Yep. This is I feel like this is what you should do. Every time you play this hero in pubs or something, you're like, I don't have to Fissure block, because we'll just play the lane. But you should almost always double Fissure block, I think, with the 4 Shaker, because your level 1's too weak.
No, because I got to say, so I'm doing my research, right? So Saxa, he hadn't played the Shaker support even in his pubs, on his main account for half a year until last night, yesterday, on the day off on the Monday. He played 2 games and he won both of them. So he's turned up today, and he's like, "This is it. This is the hero." Yep. So he's feeling it. Let's see. Yep.
He invented something, Oh, Rue. Almost feeding that first blood.
Feeds the courier. And that did have the tangos and the sentry on, so nice little catch there from Whitemon.
That's actually a nice win for Whitemon, because now he has he alleviated some of that sentry advantage that this Weaver always wants to win. So this is going to pay off over the long term, because now Rue has to use his sentry to block small camp here. Do not want to allow the Warlock pulls, which means Whitemon has 1 sentry down on the lane and another in his inventory. So this is full lane control versus the Weaver. Tough start for Rue. Honestly, he's not going to be able to play too aggressive or harass here.
Could be on this top lane. So is there going to be any pressure on Radahn CSing?
I think Abaddon can create it versus Tiny in a vacuum, but I don't think with this Shaker. Maybe you get a very clutch block here at some point on the Oracle, and you can run Miposhka down. I just think it's going to be very hard to stop Radahn free farming here. And he'll throw out a Fissure, but it's not doing much. I do think 33 will free farm, though. And if you look at Tundra's lanes overall, they're pretty strong. Like, you have Abaddon, Storm, PA. These are tough cores to shut down in terms of just raw CS. Like, I expect Tundra to effectively win 3 lanes just by default here, unless Spirit are able to get some clutch kills or make some moves.
Yeah, because the last pick from Spirit, the Leshrac, you're picking this not for the lane situation, just because of the overall game and the fact that you have got that synergy with the Oracle, where you're just going to be able to frontline in the fights and be unkillable.
Yeah, I think it's more for the game than the lane. Like, it's a fine matchup versus Storm, but it's not Viper or something, And I think this is another hero that really went up in priority over this series. If we go back to the first 3 games, Lesh was looking pretty scary in a lot of those situations leading up into this series as well. I think the hero just went up in stock over Dream League. Like he scales really hard. When he gets 5 or 6 slots, there's not much that can test this hero in the ultra late game. I think, were you casting the game where it was like the Lornoff Leshrac that was just beasting it up in that Chimera game? I think that was a pretty good example of what this hero can do.
Yeah, I know. We did. I mean, Lornoff, he beasted it up on quite a few, but indeed, just Leshrac was definitely one of the ones. I think that was the one where he went for like the still went for the early Bloodstone. Didn't actually go for this kind of Atos rush build that we were seeing other Leshracs go for in towards the Gleipnir.
Yeah, I think Laurel is more of an Atos player. Yep. And we see him queued it up here already. So this could definitely be like he's expecting to do well in the lane, get a fast Atos. And if you get that 1 or 2 cheeky kills on the Storm, it instantly pays off. But I view this as like higher risk as well. You know, if you go that Atos and you don't get the 1 or 2 kills, I think it feels pretty bad because this item just doesn't build into anything that good in the short term outside of the kill threat. Not a farming item, not a mana regen item, just kind of a dead item on the map unless you're finding the pickoffs.
Looking at the 4-minute
Museum.
rune. They're going to have the Fisher set up on a Memposhka, but Memposhka's got Lal here ready to back him up. BZM and Saxa, they got to be careful. Early game, this Lesh kicks out a hell of a lot of damage with the Edict as Lal will chase BZM up to the high ground. Gonna have another lightning in a second, a couple more right clicks. It's not enough from Lal, but it is enough from Saxa. Saxa will get the first blood, taking Memposhka down. Lal dropping a ward there, trying to get the vision to finish BZM off, but BZM is far enough away to stay safe. So good moves there from Saxa. He'll be able to get himself sent back to base as he denies to neutrals. Rewarded with that first blood gold, and Tundra not actually losing anyone.
That's a great sequence for Saxa. He gets first blood. The boots help him out. You get the bounty rune as well, and then you suicide to neutrals. It's like everything you could want off that sequence. And this is the kind of early game that the Forshaker, he wants more than almost any other hero. Just some early skirmishing, extra levels in the bank, early boots so you can abuse some of the enchant totem after shock hits. Really nice find from him. And of course, 33 is not going to suffer while the Shaker's off the lane. So I'm already getting some PTSD here.
It's fine. It's just, everything's going to be fine. It's so
yeah. This is not the same problem. So
no. This game has been given the SVG stamp of guarantee that nothing's going to go wrong.
I don't know about that one, but yeah, sure.
No,
I'll
it's all
take
good.
it.
It's all good. They're just having some banter here, obviously referencing the fact that we did have those issues on Sunday, but I'm sure it's all fine. I'm sure Saxa's just reconnecting. Yeah, apparently his cam's just gone off, which is a good sign because that means there's a different issue. So, which we like different issues because this means this issue is probably not going to be an issue. So he should be able to reconnect soon. Got a few smiles on the players. Or what have we got here? You're getting a deal being done. He's trying to do a deal. There we go. Collapse, trying to make a trade happen here.
At least they're in good spirits about it. I mean, that's a good sign, you know? I think there's a lot of teams that would be really frustrated with the situation, but I guess having a day or two to reset probably also helps, you know? You get rid of like the emotional side of it or the reactionary side and then get going.
And it's a pretty good offer from Collapse. He only wants 4 of these small creeps. Yeah, you give him that offer.
That went well, I think.
Okay, well, we have... Oh, no. Okay. Oh, here we okay, Whitemon giving the warning that he doesn't want him to take a dangerous deal. You know, he cares about his safety. He's like, well, look, I've got a PA in my lane next to me. The PA might come and get you. And he makes a good point, Whitemon. Collapse agrees. So we'll see if indeed Collapse honors that he won't look to steal these creeps now, and we'll leave.
I mean, he's gonna steal them, dude.
No, he's not.
He's stealing them 100%. There's no way any deal's happening here.
He just made a deal.
Yeah, apparently there's a little packet loss, so that's what we're trying to address here. It is not the same issue.
Only 6.
Relax, everybody relax.
That's not much, is it? That's
a lot, Owen. What do you mean?
Wait, is it?
That's a lot, dude, for a pro
how big
game.
Are these packets? Well, how big's a packet?
I mean, you're going to feel it, right? 6%. It's not like you play... It's not like 6 frames out of 100. Yeah, it's a percent. So
I thought it was like, during this time you just lost 6. Okay.
No, I think the only amount you can play on is it's like less than 2. Like I've played on 1 to 2%, and it's rough. Any higher than that it's unplayable. So, and especially for a grand final, Owen, we can't
exactly
6%.
You know, we want 0%.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's just a PC issue, so he's just restarting his PC, and then
Oh no.
he'll be fine. I'm sure they've got very fancy PCs, so these PCs will restart in seconds. Maybe a minute. No, actually, I don't know nowadays. Literally seconds.
Yeah, I have a feeling Spirit have some extra PCs in their team house by now. Just in case for situations like this. So
yeah, I think Spirit's going to be fine. I think, and we're going to play fine. As I said, this is going to be fun. This is just a nice, normal disconnect. Happens.
Of course.
Regularly. They'll be back. They will be back. What have we got here? Oh yeah, we'll be able to check out the player cam. Smiles all around there. White one. He's ready to go. And, Duracho, considering obviously the fact that he was involved in that last deal, to turn and kill Collapse.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. Spirit's smiling right now because the problem's not with them. So.
I mean, there's got to be a bit
chilling.
of relief, right? You have your Spirit, you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
now it's them with the pauses, yeah.
Because if it were you again, no matter what it is,
that's going to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna feel bad, but it's like it's on them now. It's their turn to figure it out. We're chilling.
There's definitely a bit of you can see why they're smiling. But and they'll be like, well, you can have as long as you want,
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You gotta let them fix the issue here.
Yeah. Oh, so just waiting for Saxa to get the restart done on his PC. And then they'll fix it. Because as restart fixes 99% of problems. It always does.
I mean, that's what the tech guys always tell you, right? That's just so they don't have to do their actual job.
Well, I used to think that, and then once I did have a problem, and I was not restarting my PC, and then when I did, it actually fixed it, and then I was like, you know what? They're actually onto something. They're not just trying to tell it.
What was the problem?
I can't remember. It was back in the day. It was like an internet problem. It was like, you ring up the ISP, and then they're like, have you turned it off and on again? And you're always like, yeah. Because back in the day, right, it took ages to turn your modem on and off.
Oh, yeah, that was miserable.
So it's like, I ain't doing that. Tell me what the problem is. You expect them to fix it on their side. You're like, just do something on your side, on the phone line. I don't want to turn it off and on. And then eventually when it's not working, they can't do anything, then you do turn it off and on, and it actually does fix it. So it's,
downloaded some mysterious files there, Owen? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't know. I was uploading them. Not downloading.
Okay. This guy's running Pirate Bay over there in the 90s or what, dude? What are you uploading there, Owen?
Yeah.
Uploading mysterious files. I see.
Yeah.
I feel like that's worse than downloading.
Yeah, it definitely would be, yeah.
That was definitely not the thing you wanted to say there.
No. I didn't tell the ISP. That was all good. My internet was
just
back.
lied to them.
Turned it off and on. Yeah.
I mean, you always gotta lie, There's like, did you download anything suspicious? You're like, no. Did you?
Real story though. We were once having internet issues at our house, and then we kept having them, and then so the network ISP had to come out, and they there's like those metal boxes on the street that has like the internet for like the estate or something.
Well, those aren't.
And no, they're real. Some guy was looking in it, and then we got the
that's
ISP
a
reached out.
conspiracy, dude.
Well, these boxes with the internet in.
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
No, but there is, because the ISP looked in, and then they reached out to us and said, hey, we fixed the issue, and the issue was there was your neighbor was doing something that he shouldn't be doing. We never knew what he was doing, but he was doing something that was impacting the internet of the entire estate that we lived on. And to be fair, actually, he did move out. We got a new neighbor quite soon after that, so I don't know where he got. We never spoke to the guy. He'd always
government agency somewhere.
I think he was maybe from one. He was like this guy. He lived on his own. He always dressed very smartly. He never said anything to us, and then he just disappeared one day. And he was doing something from the next door. Wait, what have we got here? Anyway,
we're ready. We're ready, Owen.
Oh, we're ready.
Thank God. I was about to lose my mind. The longest finals in the history of Dota 2.
Oh yeah, it's back on. No more pauses, as guaranteed by Avery.
I guarantee
that was it.
That's right.
You guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
I didn't see. Did he take the small camp? He did.
Yeah, of course he did, Owen.
Well, he said he wouldn't.
He's just playing the mind game, the psyops, getting in their head.
Dude, look at this mid gank. Do you expect this?
What is this?
This is Weaver Oracle coming in with a setup under the tier 2. Oh, BZM. Oh,
he's alive.
Right click. Oh.
Wait.
What's the pause? You said there wasn't going to be any more Avery. I don't even know if BZM's dead. Is he?
What do you
is
want
he
me to
dead
do,
to this
man?
right click? Is he dead to
Yeah,
this?
he's
Or is
dead.
they hit?
He's dead.
Dude, now he's got the Purifying Flames heal.
No,
What if
he's
Lyle
dead.
rose low?
I mean, he'd have to really low roll.
Okay, yeah, there they go.
There's no way. He's dead. I mean, that's a great gank. He TP'd
Yeah.
back out, instantly dies. I think
What do you do if you're
Larl's
Lyle?
a little trouble. I mean, you
Where'd he
gotta
go?
get creative here. You know?
Oh.
That was not creative
That
enough.
was. That was. Did he not? I mean, okay, I guess Saxa was in. Okay, yeah. Well, they still get
I mean,
back to base, but he's not going to be able to
yeah,
get
it's
back
no
out.
TP.
Yeah.
That was really bad. He should have just died to tower, I think. I don't know. Did he
he not-
somehow not see the shaker? Like, there's no
I
way.
think he didn't. I think yeah, because of nighttime vision, right? I think he was just
He
on the edge
didn't
of it. He must have not seen Saxa. There's no way.
I don't know, dude. That was.
Right.
Well, I guess that evens that out, but it's still more XP going to the Lesh.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they should be a little happy with shutting down this storm early. As worth something here. And hey, Maposhka takes mid, you know? Little mid support battle. Solo XP for Oracle, that's not too bad. That's some juice right there.
All right, Derecho versus Collapse down here. But not going to be a kill. Collapse can swashbuckle whenever he needs to.
Yeah, tough hero for Duracho to all in, I think. Can continue to harass him, but I would be surprised if Collapse goes down in that lane. And the Power Rune, Arcane for Laurel, does
that's
end
a
up
nice
going to this
one.
Leshrac. Yeah, this is a catapult wave too. They're gonna have advantage. Wouldn't be surprised to see Spirit just stay around here with the supports and try and abuse this storm again, or get some deep wards out, play around this catapult.
I guess they're a bit concerned. Maybe the Collapse needs help down bottom.
Or Wisdom Shrine. 20 seconds for the spawn, so
That's true.
they
Yeah.
don't want to lose it to some weird invasion if they gank mid, which I can respect here. But fairly even early game across the board. I think the Shaker got a little more than maybe I expected. I think Soxa's game is completely fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that first blood was a huge buff to him.
Yeah, Arcane Boots already done. Like, that's what you want to see on this hero, you know? Some 5-6 minute Arcane Boots. So you can actually run around, do a little farming, do a little ganking. That's kind of the biggest timing. Then you're just trying to get to that blink, and that's more about the team fights, so. Soxa having a good start here. Storm got shut down a bit, and the PA is the one thriving here. Duracho really on top of that net worth chart early. Just free farming. 48 CS already. This is a really good start for the PA. But of course, Radon, I mean, he's matching it pretty well. And I feel like you'd rather have the levels on the Tiny more than just the raw net worth in a way. Like, getting to the early Echo Saber is nice, but I feel like having the levels, getting to the points where you have tree grab at higher levels and you're working towards this shard is where that hero really comes online.
Oh, look at this mid. They tried for the setup there with Rue closing the gap, setting up for the Fortune Zen.
A lot of
Not
damage.
quite happened still. That BZM's got to be careful. He's only got a little bit of mana
He's
left.
dead.
He can't get away from this. They're going to have him.
What was
But at the
that?
same time, down bottom, Duracho was able to dive in and kill Collapse. But this mid lane, Spirit, they're
worth
putting all the pressure onto BZM.
Yeah, this is a really good game plan from Spirit. This is the one hero that if you could pick a hero to shut down in this game, it's the Storm for sure. This is the last pick Storm. It's supposed to be the playmaker, the initiator for Tundra, the thing that's going to bring their lineup together. And it's just having the worst game out of everybody. This Pango dying, okay, you got that kill, but it's offlane Pango, right? Like, this does not need to have a crazy game here for Collapse to find his impact. He's just going to rush the Diffusal, be annoying with the mana burns, and he will be able to contribute to that team fight where this Storm is
Look at this.
in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's going to try and get aggressive, BZM. Comes back in with the
This is
respawn, looks
tanky.
towards top. Can these two take down Radan? Radan's going to get back up coming in. Saxa's watching from the side, gets the Fisher out, but indeed Radan, he's living throughout this all. Now they'll drop the Golem on towards Radan. Then Poshka will be the first to fall. Radan's going to try and run. He'll have Avalanche up in a second, but they've got enough control with the Vortex to bring him back and take him down. As Tundra, 9 minutes very early on, bringing this amount of presence to this top lane to take the Tiny out and take his tower.
It took so much damage to get the job done, but they already had Golem up. That's huge. Whitemon deals second most hero damage in that fight. And it's just all Bonds, Golem. Even with Fate's Edict going out on this Tiny and the Purge, still not able to save him. There's just no turnaround damage here. And I mean, that is the power of the Grimoire. Getting the kills bottom, you get the extra XP. You can make a level 9 gate play with Golem Bonds up. Hero's just nasty in the early game now.
Let's see what they look towards now. And Radan will be a little safe around his tier 2. Oh yeah, this PA is definitely going to be an issue. This is going to be one of the faster Battle Furies we will have had this tournament. I feel. We've had a lot of obviously a lot of PA Battle Fury games coming in. Dratcho looking to collapse, but with the Rolling Thunder up potential, he's going to be fine. They're going to try and do something about this PA, Lal, and Miposhka. Ready to make the rotation. Let's see if they can catch
Dratcho's in
Dratcho.
trouble. This is haste rune on Laurel. This is kind of a guaranteed rundown situation as long as you can get on top of him.
Let's have a look. They're going to look towards Whitemon first. So they'll quickly run down the Warlock. Now, do they want to try and turn and die for Dratcho? They don't. So they actually just settle for getting the quick kill on Whitemon. And Dratcho, he's allowed to live.
I took a small camp too. Not honoring the deal at all here as Laurel cleans him up, gets out of there. Does tank the gank, I guess. That's something. As BZM just pushing in mid. I guess one concern in this game, if you're Spirit, is like, what does your 5-on-5 look like? Especially if the Pango goes down first. You have Oracle Weaver supports. It's not a lot of 5v5 control versus Shaker Warlock here.
Mid. Look at the Fisher on towards Rue. Rue will fall. We'll see Collapse try and strike back with the Rolling Thunder. Zach tried to hold him back with the Echo Slam, but the range was not there with the Aftershock. So the Echo Slam gets completely whiffed, and now Collapse is going to have the chance to chase on potentially more than Whitemon's got the heal out. They won't have the damage to deal with him, and 33 still around, so Spirit have to be careful how they tackle the fight with Abaddon right in front of them. They'll start to back away, and it still gives the chance for Tundra to push onto this tier 1 tower. Very hard for Spirit to push them off it.
I just don't have a lot of lane shove or AoE. There's no Coddle Blast here. There's no Darkseer shells. It's downside of this Weaver Oracle support duo. If Tundra just group and start pushing objectives, taking the 5-on-5s, it's not that good for you until all of your cores can join the fight, until the Tiny's ready, until the Lesh has a bit more tankability and can frontline. That's when that team fight will come together for Spirit. But right now, Tundra dominating it, and early Blade Mail on 33. He wants to reflect all this Leshrac damage. Can't blame him. It's going to be a nice item this game. Another tier 1 tower down. That's all 3 tier 1s dead by 12 minutes here. That is a lot of extra team gold into Tundra's pocket. It's speeding up this Battle Fury. It's speeding up this Shaker Blink. Already 1,000 gold on Soxa. Like, these towers are counting for a lot right now.
Rue tried to sweep across towards the top to catch Saxo on the retreat, but 33's in with the backup. Leaves no area of vulnerability for the Shaker to get punished. And nothing that Radahn can do about 33 right now.
Oh, there's nothing you can do about Abaddon in this game until you can just out-team fight him. Like, you're not killing him on the map. You need Silver Edge Tiny to kind of create a threat against him. You have no silences, no real Orchid builders. It's a solid Abaddon game, honestly, for it being first pick here. I guess you can mana burn him out. Maybe Collapse just has some crazy team fight and gets Ags or something on this Pango. That's one route you can go, but yeah, fast Battle Fury for Dratcho here. Has a couple Ancient stacks to fall back on. He's in a very good spot.
Yeah, this PA is going to be huge. Very, very good stuff, Dratcho. And Radahn. What's sort of the point in the Tiny build where you start running around the map with the team? You just get with the Echo, the Yash, or do you need the full SMY BKB? Like, how farm heavy do you go on this hero?
I think when you're getting your next item here, you can start joining fights and feeling good about it. But when you're running around the map, it's the Shadowblade timing.
Up BZM. Trying to make the move on Collapse. They've got the setup. The Golem's going to get dropped down to try and give a bit of space for BZM to be able to jump out, and he can. Collapse tries to stay on top of him, but the one charge is still there, so BZM still plenty of mana to play with. He's going to be potentially fine. In fact, he was thinking about fighting back towards Collapse. 33 moves in on towards the Pango. BZM really pushing his hero to the limits, trying to provide everything he can to allow them to control Collapse. And he does it perfectly. BZM could have run. He was low on mana, but he knew he had just enough mana and HP to get back in and make sure they could hold Collapse back from escaping. Dratcho cleans up the kill. He cleans up some Ancients. I mean, this PA's game continues to get fueled to a pretty crazy level. They're already 8k net worth 14 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a disgusting pace he's setting. And this is going to let him just play super aggressive into the Tiny because he's going to be ahead. He's going to be able to jump the PA on the backlines, putting a lot of pressure on Team Spirit's support duo right now. Like, these two supports are squishy. They can get bursted super fast from this PA. And honestly, Golem bailed this entire fight out. Like, the fact you land the Golem as you're trying to chain stun this Storm just buys so much time for BZM here. And this last Swashbuckle from Collapse did a huge amount of damage. If you have 1 or 2 more spells there on the Storm, you clean him out there. But the interrupt from Whitemon on point every time here, as now Tundra looking for the Tormentor here. And they probably will get it. I don't think you're contesting this if you're Spirit.
I don't think so, right? Radan's not quite ready to join the action. Wants to get his next set of items. I mean, Rue's going to head through.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's a little off timing-wise, though. Didn't man up for it.
I was a little bit scared, and understandably so. Tundra easily able to take the Tormentor to the team. White one to get the shard.
And blinked on for the Shaker.
Oh, Radan up top. Pretty close to the tower. It's going to get the chance here for Tundra to turn up and try and take him down. To get the Vortex drag back, Miposhka is here to help out. Well, the Fisher block from Saxa is going to kind of force Radan to have to stand his ground. The false promise from Miposhka has to come into play. BZM's able to zip away. Lal is trying to move in. Tundra will start to pull back under the tower. 33's helped to kill off Radan.
Oh, that blade mail.
33's not done yet. The blade mail indeed causing Lal to immediately just destroy himself. And now collapse. There's no saving him either. I mean, yeah, they are bad, and they just could not fight around him. And yeah, just a beautiful block from Saxa coming in with that angle. Left no chance for Radan to get out, even with the false promise being used by Miposhka.
Oh, that fissure was really good. It blocked out the Tiny, and it blocked out the Lesh from joining the fight.
Yeah.
You saw Laurel get stuck behind it. This false promise on Tiny is just not what you're looking for. You want to use these spells on the Leshrac so Laurel can get in there and fight through the Blade Mail, fight through the Shaker spells. Look at Laurel, he's just stuck here. Saxa controlling this fight perfectly with that fissure. Even blocked out the Oracle for a bit. And then you just overcommit for the Storm and you never even end up getting him. That's just not the timing Spirit want to take these fights around. Like, you have Echo, Yasha, Tiny. It's just not anything compared to what this Warlock Shaker are putting out, and that was the Blink fight for Saxa as well. Didn't even end up getting to use it, but could have done some serious damage there.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Orchid now done for 33. He just fully completes an Orchid off that. Like,
yeah.
This is... I just don't know how you take the fights right now. You have to stall this game out if you're Spirit. You got to play the side lanes, look for some pickoffs. There's a lot of deep wards that Rue got out, so he's probably going to look for some courier sniping, slow the game down. But they're already setting up on Collapse, and Orchid...
There they are. There's the Indeed, just straight up. It's the dead Pango. 33.
Getting a little spooky.
Well, 2-0-5, having a pretty smooth game. And definitely showing at least out the first picks. You know, so far been able to do a whole lot more than Radan has on the Tiny, but Radan still needs time, right? Give him the chance, get the SMY, the BKB. Like, we've seen many a Spirit game, especially during these playoffs. Even if they're 10k behind at 17 minutes, there's always still a chance with Spirit, because their outplay, it can come regardless of the position they're in.
Oh, 100%. And they will get stronger the more dispels they get here. Like, the more BKBs come out versus Warlock, relieves some of Miposhka's decision-making in terms of who he has to purge versus the bonds, stuff like that. But right now, it's looking like it's all Tundra, and they're just going to keep pushing the objectives. No reason to slow down in this game. Keep taking every fight you can get. Even went Mage Slayer on the Storm. Kind of an unconventional Storm item, especially first. But it is nice versus the Leshrac, and honestly, it's not bad versus Spirit's other two cores. Like, you hit this Tiny with Mage Slayer, it's not insignificant here, considering Spirit need all the damage they can get. You play into a Baden, you need 100% of your DPS online.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is where I go back to that Atos on the Leshrac too. Like, did this Atos pay off in this game? It just does not feel like it did. And now it's just kind of a dead item in your inventory.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, sort of the kills that they did get, some of them, of course, causing some of the dives that they had to then go on for, so ended up being maybe a bit of a double-edged sword in some of those situations of how aggressive Lal wanted to get. See down bottom, 33. He's going to look for Miposhka. They'll get him easily with the grab back from BZM. BZM even seeing if he can get the chase down onto Radan, but Radan's already out of there. Well, I say that though, BZM, he's not got much mana left, but he has got eyes on Radan. He's still going to try and really poke out, you know, as aggressively as he can. He doesn't care with this Aegis. He's got the Aegis, right? So he doesn't care if they turn him, blow him up, and they won't. They'll just continue to run.
Hoping they would, trying to bait him out there.
I think so, yeah.
Spirit will not take the bait. Might run into Saxa here. Oh, already used Avalanche though.
Oh, they could set up on this. BZM still got enough mana to close in. 33 providing the shield here over towards BZM to silence down onto Radan. Radan's in trouble. And not a position really where any help can come in. He'll turn with the Avalanche, but 33's ready with the Blade Mail.
And Gem already online. Whitemon just buys super early Gem. They put it on the unkillable Abaddon. So they're already dewarding a lot of obs. You get a rune steal.
Okay, he's going to be fine. He'd have the remainder of the Shikuchi off.
I mean, this Gem is a problem for the Weaver, too. Like, this is a lot of early map control Tundra are playing for right now. Spirit got to find something here.
True. He tried to make a play on
bug.
Saxa. He missed the bugs. And now time lapse off just in time. Maybe he can live.
Yeah, he's good. No more mana on the Storm. Oh, we got a Courier.
Courier.
I mean, these are some plays, you know? Some space.
Yeah. Tank the Echo.
True. Do lose that tier 2 mid.
They do.
But
The overall picture still not looking too great for Spirit. Yeah. Tundra getting quite a lot here in this opening 20 minutes.
I think we've seen this before, though. You know, I think Spirit are a team they're used to playing from behind. I think Tundra are, in some ways, used to playing from ahead, too. So maybe this is good for both teams.
I really want to try and dive for Saxa, but it is getting risky now. And Root, he'll hide in the trees.
Did they see him there?
They see him. He's dead.
I feel like pros are still figuring out the little tree spots in this patch, you know? They like think there's little corners in some places where there isn't. And that's another tier 2 just going down to this Abaddon. Like, no one is stopping 33.
Oh, and they're just going in. Look at this. Direction 33 straight into the base. Look for Lal. Lal is going to get bailed out in time by Maposhka. He is. False Promise comes in, but Direction turns over towards Maposhka. They'll drop the golem. Direction falling rather low. We'll get another dagger thrown up towards Lal. That's enough damage to pop him. Lal is gone as the damage comes into the end of the False Promise, and 33 is ready to dive in even more aggressively. Still has the borrowed time to rely on. He'll get tossed back towards the rest of them, but he's back up to full HP. And still plenty of mana to play with further shields. They'll try and kill him as the borrowed time comes to an end. They'll put the blame out, but BZM's ready to give him the backup. BZM zipping in aggressively past the tier 3 tower collapse. We'll get the angle on towards 33 outside the base for the Rolling Thunder and the Swashbuckle. As they'll get one. Can they get anything more here, Spirit? Rue trying to chase up the high ground. Got eyes on both Saxa and Rue. Turning with the dagger. Deracho continues to be able to play and dance around the edge of the fight. Pick up these kills. Maybe even look towards Rue as well. Rue's going to try and Shikuchi on forward to Whitemon, but the sentry gets dropped down. Gives the vision for Deracho to jump in. Finish off another kill. The Spirit, they try and deal with just Tundra diving the base. And they just can't. They get 33, but they lose a lot of casualties themselves still. Tundra, they keep getting away with this.
Oh, the aggression's paying off here. This is how they like to play with these Abaddon lineups. So win the early game and just run at people. You don't have the DPS. They're going straight back in.
Yeah, they're going to find Maposhka. Great target prioritization there from BZM. Turns its attention immediately towards the Oracle. Kills Maposhka off. And now they can look to try and turn towards Lal. A quick dodge and a jump forward, but there's the echo from Saxa onto the bow for them. Saxa will die, but he may have just set up for the cleanup as they can look to try and chase towards Radan. He's back at the tier 4, but Deracho's in. BKB's at the ready. Pops it, commits under the tier 4 towers. Kills off Radan. Now he's going to be able to look towards Collapse as well. Deracho kills off the Pango. They'll try and turn towards him, but 33's moved in. He's ready to back him up. The blade mail's out. Lal's going to get back to the fountain. He's destroying himself again on the damage that he's doing to this Abaddon's blade mail. As Lal will manage to retreat to the fountain, but Deracho, he's just getting away with murder.
He's almost fountain farming them 20 minutes in this game. Just completely spiraled out of control. Look at this PA's net worth. He's got like 5,000 net worth here.
And they're just dropping heroes left, right, and center as they respawn here, Spirit.
Over? Like, what is happening? There's just no time for Spirit to regroup in this game. Just got completely rolled by this Abaddon lineup. They have double Atos, but honestly, the Atos, when you're getting fountain farmed, are not doing much for you.
That's true.
They're just running in your face. And that was such a clutch timing for Sox on that Echo Slam. They get the dieback on the Oracle. They finish off Laurel multiple times. Lane of Racks down. Looking at another lane.
Let's see what they can do. They get the opening onto 33. Borrowed time still on cooldown for about 10 seconds. Visual come out, blocks the Rolling Thunder from connecting again. So nice moves there from Saxa to allow 33 the chance to get the blink off. And in fact, if 33 is able to turn, get the silence, will get removed here by the dispel from Aposhka. But BZM dives the high ground, get the pull down with the Vortex. Glimmers there in time. Gives Collapse another chance to continue to retreat. They drop the Golem. They're not quite able to get their hands on Spirit quite yet. Radan steps back in with the Avalanche toss combo towards Deracho. Atos as well, but Deracho getting healed up by the Shadow Word. And he's going to have his BKB back up again right now. BKB's ready to go on the PA Deracho. He can look to dive them once more if Team Spirit not
borrowed time
Radan
available as well.
Let's look at the 33. The daggers just getting thrown out, keeping Spirit at bay, whilst Duracho can continue to focus the objectives and get this second set of racks. Atos is there, and they'll be able to push them off a little more, but no, Duracho, he's ready to jump back in. He gets followed up here by 33 and Saxon looking to go straight on towards Radan. They kill off the Tiny, make the jump towards Miposhka. The both of them gone. Lyle will prop the BKB, but they can simply kite it out. They did lose their supports, Tundra, but the core still stands so strong. BZM diving up towards the tier 4s and the fountain. Lyle taken out before he can get back. 33 blinks in. They're in on a reel. Get the time lapse off. He will live, but it's just him and Collapse left alive. The routes onto BZM. Collapse having to be cautious. BZM still with enough mana to play with that he is under no threat from these two heroes. Tundra, they've managed to force the space to take the second set of barracks. 25 minutes in. It doesn't seem to be too many signs of Spirit being able to stop the Tundra show.
I mean, the amount of gold they've gotten in the last 5 minutes here is out of this world. This PA is now doubling the Tiny effectively. Full Satanic completed for him. The Orchid and the Fissure plus the Shaker Shard have just prevented Miposhka from getting these false promises off, which is still level 1. It's just nothing's coming up Spirit here. And you're looking at the hero damage. Such a nice split for Tundra. Everybody super involved in these fights. Pushing them to the fountain.
Radan trying to find some farm, but Saxa had his eyes on him. BZM in with the backup. 33 ready to go as well. TPs are coming over. Can they bail Radan out of him? Miposhkas will drop the false promise here. On towards the Tiny, trying to give Radan that little bit of safety, but they're diving and still doing so much damage to Radan underneath the tower. Jump forward from Saxa, 3-man Echo Slam, gets the double, they get the clean up as they take Miposhka out as well. As they'll tap out of this one, GG is called. We're getting the game 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. Tundra will take game 4. There's 2-2 now, Avery.
I don't know if that's the pace Spirit were expecting when they came back into this series, but it is the one Tundra are setting here. And yeah, we will go to a very contested game 5 where Spirit are going to have to make some adjustments because they just got rolled. Something in that 15 to 25 minute mark, like we weren't even really stopping for Aegises or anything. We weren't stopping for like the next Tormentor. It was just, we were going to end the game right here, right now. 11-0 on this Phantom Assassin and 0-6 on this Tiny. The undefeated Tiny, that has such a good win rate.
Undefeated.
Demolished it. They made it look like nothing. I don't know. If I'm Spirit, I feel like they were not happy with the 3, 4, and 5 in that game. I don't think that's necessarily a Leshrac Tiny problem. I think it's the support duo was very, finicky. And this offlane Pango, like how often do we see Collapse play Pango in the offlane? I feel like it's just not very often. It's not a super comfort pick for him. And man, this Abaddon just... 33 Abaddon is the best in the world. Like, it's not close. He just
crazy,
runs. Yeah. He just runs people over with this hero. He always goes the fast blink. He always picks the right items. He makes this hero look first pick. Like, I was doubting whether Abaddon was a first pick hero a lot this tournament. But when I watched 33 play it, I have no doubt you should be first picking this hero because it's just...
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy what he does on from his position and the amount of net worth he has.
Absolutely. Especially doing it in a game, as we said, where other teams, and even Tundra themselves right beforehand, they would not have let this first pick Tiny go through to Spirit. But whatever it was, they did their homework, they did their prep, they've come up with some good ideas against it. And maybe like a bit of sort of that idea does also include this Saxa Shaker, right? I mean, it's not something we've been seeing in the position 4. He turns up today, as I said, looking at his Dota, but I played it twice yesterday, won those games, was like, hey, I'm ready to take it to the grand finals of DreamLeague Season 25. And my goodness, did he look good doing it. 6-4 and 17. Well, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Any final words, Avery? We're going to head to a short break as we warm up for Game 5. What do you want to say about that game?
I mean, it's more team fight coming out from Tundra. I think that's what Spirit have to adjust to in the Game 5. Meet them in the head. The 5-on-5 team fight and make sure their supports have some capability there, right? Maybe the Elder Titan, the Shakers, the Darkseers, stuff like this. If we get that in a Game 5, it should be a hype one. I am looking forward to seeing who takes this all.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you boys and girls watching at home are as well. So don't go anywhere. We are going to have a short break as we get ourselves ready for the final Game 5 here in the DreamLeague Season 25 Grand Finals.
to the DHL Super Drop. I'm gonna get the box over
final game here at Dream League Season 25. Game 5 coming up at the Grand Finals here today between Tundra and Team Spirit. Avery, I am joined with the wonderful Avery, of course. Avery, that last game, it was a rough one for Spirit, and honestly, rougher than I feel that we expected, right? I feel like we saw a bit more potential from their draft that actually ended up playing out. Why was that? Was that just all Tundra's doing?
Yeah, I think give majority of credit to the victor there. I think Tundra just outplayed him in a lot of that mid-game. I think Spirit were unready for the pace that was going to be set there. They're a little slow to make aggressive moves of their own. I think the Weaver really got slowed down a lot in that early game. Like, Rue went for some of these random plays, courier snipe. The early lane did not go his way. And then you try and join that fight top. Warlock beats you there, drops the golem, kills the tiny. Like, all those little moves from the supports really sped that game up. The first blood going to Soxa, right? Little things like that. The Shaker had a way faster game than this Weaver, and I think that decided a lot of that game, honestly, because we were talking a lot about the Abaddon and the core interactions and the PA, how fat the PA was. But I think a lot of that came down to the fact that the Shaker got ahead of the Weaver, and suddenly you can run around, make all these plays, take all these fights, fight the rune stronger, and this Weaver's just behind, and it's not a good support when you're behind in the support versus support matchup.
No, not at all, yeah. I mean, to the point, after seeing that last game, now that they've shown, Sax has shown what he can bring out on the Shaker in that position 4 in this game, is that now just this extra hero that you have to really be having at the back of your mind when you're drafting? Because Tundra have shown now that they can do it in multiple roles, the Shaker.
I mean, maybe it's a hero you think about more in terms of they're going to flex it around and do those kind of shenanigans, but I don't think you're banning for Shaker. Like,
no, sure.
It was good, but it didn't just 1v5 the game, right? And it's not that scary of a hero. It does what it does. It's solid at it. It gives you stuns when you need them, but it's not doing anything crazy broken. I think Spirit are going to more think about what supports they want and adjust it from their side more than what Tundra's doing.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to wait any longer. The draft has begun here for Game 5, the Grand Finals here at Dream League Season 25 between Team Spirit and Tundra Esports. So have a look what we're getting straight away. Obviously stands out. We are getting that Abaddon ban from Spirit. So a lot of respect shown the way of Tundra 33's offlane Abaddon. And indeed, the change up this time in Tundra, they'll grab it a little bit earlier to make sure they get that guaranteed chance. Because we did see, obviously, last game as well, talking about impact, Whitemon. I mean, the lane is obviously fantastic, but then when it comes to, like, the golems, using them to just sort of disperse the team fight and stop Spirit from fighting into them, it worked out at crucial moments.
This Warlock is scary, man. This is, I mean, again, the best Warlock player right now, and he gets these early kills. You give him Grimoire charges, he's going to make that rotation. He's going to find the golem drop early and shut you down. But the trade-off is an Ember here, which very nice response because Warlock doesn't give you any lockdown versus guy. It's a really bad matchup for the Warlock. A hero that's really hard to burst, not that great of a bonds target because sometimes he just plays on his own in the backside of fights. Hard hero to catch on the map. Also a hero that can play really fast. I think that's the important part here for Team Spirit. It's a hero that gives them some team fight and the ability to skirmish the runes, skirmish the wisdom shrines, abuse the power runes, fight early support rotations. This is a nice pickup for them in this matchup overall. So I still like Spirit's opener here. I liked it last game. Maybe looking back, we overrated the Tiny a little bit because, 33 Abaddon is, as we saw, something else. But I think this one, I still kind of like it draft-wise. And they banned the Abaddon. So you're not going to have that card up your sleeve here going into phase 2.
Sure. So I feel like the struggle is, though, obviously 33. Whilst, his Abaddon's amazing, he's got quite the repertoire of heroes that he'll be very comfortable on bringing out and destroying a game on. So I feel like it always feels kind of tough to sort of target him with the bans because of his flexibility and hero pool. But yeah, still understandable why here. After that last game in particular, you're just like, the Abaddon, we don't want to deal with that. And Tundra, is there going to be anything from that last game that Spirit did that Tundra are taking out? Or do you think Tundra, you can have any of those heroes?
I don't think they cared generally.
No?
The Tiny's still in the pool, by the way. Didn't even get banned.
They're like, yeah.
They just don't care. I could see Spirit pick it up, but I don't know if they're going to prioritize it super highly here. At the same time, do you want to give it away to Tundra? Because I think Tundra will take it. Like, Warlock Tiny's no joke. Another really strong lane, super strong in the game. Still, you should not underrate this hero, even if it's slipping through here, and Tundra are kind of tempting you to take it. I could also see Spirit just take it out of phase here. The other hero that comes to mind, and we're talking offlaners for 33, right? What's he going to play here? There's no Abaddon. I could see the Sand King or the Doom come out versus Ember. Like, get some hard lockdown in that offlane and just make his life miserable as this game goes later and later. And they're kind of nice pairings with the Warlock. Again, helps your team fight, helps you scale. There's also this Darkseer in the pool that we saw go up in priority, I think, over the series. So should keep that hero in mind for both teams, honestly, as we go later in this pick phase.
Absolutely. I mean, this ban, the PA, no surprise there, especially when you see the Warlock great. It's like this PA Warlock lane, as you say, that we've seen so much success with, and Tundra themselves, one of the first to really just sort of do it again and again and again. You just can't let that happen. Not in a game 5, especially when it just happened in a game 4, and Duracho had a flawless game on it.
Tundra Esports
Bounty Hunter, okay. I expected the Bounty to come out last game, because I think it's a nice support pairing with the Warlock, but now we see it the other way around, which is, it's also a good hero against Warlock, because you can harass him lane-wise and make his life kind of miserable. He's never going to get pulls off. You scout him out in fights. So again, a much faster lineup from Spirit already, but the team fight, man, the team fight from Tundra just keeps on rolling here. Back to that Shaker, maybe support Shaker again. Get this Warlock Shaker support duo, shove it back into Spirit's face, and now you're taking advantage of the Bounty Hunter's weakness, which is the 5-on-5. Like, Spirit really need to think about how they're actually winning fights in this game, or if their plan is to just try and roll the lanes. But generally, they're not a team that does that. They're not a team that completely rolls people over in the lanes and beats them at 20 minutes. They're a team that outfights you, outscales you, and right now they're just getting outpicked in that department. You have an Invoker to deal with on top of all this. Is a hero you can gank and play fast around in terms of abusing it, taking its tower, but you have to be on point to do that. And you'd have to pick for it here. You'd have to like all in with Enchantress or something for Maposhka, which his Enchantress is really good. It's just then you're giving up the team fight entirely, right? You're saying we're just going to play super fast, gank Invoker, 3v1 mid. Your supports are too slow to deal with it. It is a viable route here for sure. There's not a lot on Tundra that deals with it. But it's an all-in play in a game 5 in a finals, you know? Are they that bold, or do they want to go that route?
Yeah, they do still have the opening to do that. So they're going to get the Jakiro, obviously a very popular support that we're seeing a lot of in this current patch.
Can still fulfill some of those things. Like, this is still an early game powerhouse, but now you have a little more team fight to fall back on. This Ice Path, I think, is also really annoying for Shaker to fight into. It can be a tough spell to jump. And jumping Jakiro itself is not always that easy. So it's just a solid pick. Nice combination with the chains as well. You drop the chains, you drop track, you Ice Path macro some dude. He's probably dead with the extra damage amp. Still a little light on team fight.
True. They've still got a bit of a hole to patch up there. I mean, in terms of the bans last time, the opening 4 bans from Spirit, it's just the change up, right? Instead of banning the BZM Invoker, they banned the 33 Abaddon. Obviously means they have to now deal with the BZM Invoker this game. They're going to go with a Mars. This hero, not been doing too hot. Are you okay with them going for this here?
I mean, it is Collapse Mars, so it's pretty hard to argue against it.
It's one of the best.
It's a really good catch hero, and it gives you that team fight you were lacking. So I understand the pick here. I think it makes a lot of sense, but it's not the scariest hero in the meta. I don't think you see Mars and you're shaking in your boots, you know? This isn't, of all the offlaners in the meta, the Abaddons, the Night Stalkers, the Magnuses, and then you give the Tiny, the hero that just slips through entirely here. And this is not an isolated Tiny. This is a Warlock Tiny lane. He's going to have sustain. He has bonds to put damage into, and he's going to potentially have Alacrity really later on. Like, I don't know. This game is it's scary, dude. I think Spirit really need a good early game on paper here. They need to play the lanes really well, and they need to get a little bit ahead. Not crazy ahead, but enough that they can, play fast and get some track kills going. Because if you just let Tundra sit here and farm, it looks absolutely terrifying.
I mean, Tundra at least have shown that the Tiny can be beat. As I said, coming into this series, Spirit
That's
in the
true.
last month, they'd never lost with Tiny. Tundra just now in that game 4 able to take a game against Radan's Tiny. And also in the last month, Tundra have never lost with Tiny. So, can
Are they about
Spirit
to
do
lose?
what Tundra just did to them?
Yeah, that's a big question. And I mean, what is the carry hero for Radon to do that? That's going to be the big question here, because I think that Ursa was getting banned 100%. And you kind of had to know that if you're Spirit. Like, if we pick Mars and there's a decent chance they take the Tiny, they have 2 bans left. One of them is going to be Ursa. Slark is already out, which I think was another one maybe Radon would have gone to. We've seen him play Drow versus this hero in the past, but
Sure.
the way it works now with Shadowblade and all the armor and stuff, it's not that great a matchup. This isn't like the jumping Tiny. So I don't really know what Radon wants here. That's where I go back to the Bloodseeker, man. Like,
You like your blood?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Is it good enough with their lineup? Like, do they have enough overall scale and stuff to be confident picking it here? Right. That's my question. There's also Spectre, which is, I know people forget about, but it is nice versus Invoker and Warlock here. It's like a backline jumper. It gives you some scaling team fight, and it is a Radon classic.
What about time zone? Bring in the Void carry. It could. Is that too wide? I mean, you're going down this like Bloodseeker Spectre line. I mean,
it's an interesting pick. You want some scaling in some team fight.
You got the
That is
time
Faceless
zone with
Void.
the arena combo. They can't get out of it.
Yeah,
What are they gonna do?
I honestly, I don't hate it, but more for the time
yeah.
dilation. It's a really good time dilation game. Like, this time dilation ruins Invoker, ruins
That's
Shaker.
what I'm thinking.
It's not that bad against Tiny. But
And
the risk
he
is
plays a great Void.
yeah, he does. But you're up against a lot of burst here, right? Like, you get caught by any
Sure,
of these
you
stuns.
have to get through that. Yeah, indeed. You have to get through that phase of the game where you're vulnerable to being 100 to 0'd.
Yes.
And once you get through that as the Void in a game like this, then you're
I
the
don't
king.
mind it, dude. I actually don't mind it here. They have some Jakiro synergy. The core synergy is the kind of bad part, but if you go for the time zone, then it actually works. I can see it, dude. It's not out of the question here. That said, a lot will also come down to what 33 wants to play here, because if he picks an offlaner that's just really fast, that Void goes out the window, right?
Yeah.
Like, if he picks
it
Visage
depends.
here or something, which I think he could Visage, he can Sand King, he can still Doom. Like, there's a lot of scary picks. There's still the Beastmaster. There's so many offlaners left in the pool.
Beast does seem pretty nice.
And all of them look super good here, right?
Yeah,
They're
he's
all
got
pretty
a
fast-paced
lot.
aura buyers. I don't know. This is a this is a tough position to be in if you're Spirit.
Yeah,
It'll
that's the
take the
Beast
Beast. I mean,
straight up. Yeah.
I think this was the most solid looking one. Like, you get Beast Warlock synergy, you get extra attack speed for Tiny, you get an extra Roche objective taker, another stack clear. This lineup is just like, look at these 5 heroes, Owen, and tell me it doesn't
It's
look
scary.
broken.
Oh boy, yeah. It's
Like, what does
no.
it not have, right? It just has everything.
I tell you, he would have gone Void, but now the Beast is there's no way. You know, the
There's
Void's
no
out
way.
the window.
There's no way.
You can't do the Void anymore. He's gonna go with
Oh my
Clink.
god.
Is that what are we talking about
Oh
this
my
one?
god, dude.
It's only turned up once in one lost game.
Yeah,
Lost one
Radon
game.
played it,
Lost one game.
and it did not go well. It did not go well, dude.
Okay.
It was not
Smiles are
impressive.
coming out though. They're confident. You know, this could be
They
it.
are. They are
Winning with the
confident.
hero. Nobody has won with this hero. Not even themselves. I mean, it's only tried the once by themselves. Well,
I think this has to be a fast game from Spirit. Like, there's no doubt about it. They have to run around the map, getting kills with the double invis, right? The Clink's running around, getting track kills in combination with the bounty hunter. The lane has to go well here. Like, I do not want to see 33 free farming bottom versus last pick Clinks. That's supposedly a good matchup versus Beast, because you eliminate him being able to summon boars on the lane and just run at you. It is an early Maelstrom buyer, but you don't have the Gleipnir buildup, which I think hurt this hero a lot. Because I think Gleipnir made Clinks in a way. You Gleipnir people into
what
the
is
straight
the
hits.
build?
He went Mjolnir last time, but it just wasn't impressive. People were just kind of running out of the arrows, and yeah, he scales well, but you're not winning the scale anyway here. So it doesn't really I think this is a very tough looking game for Spirit on paper. The one thing I think they can do is they can run it mid. If they bring their supports to mid and they just kill BZM over and over and snowball this Ember, I think that's their path to victory. I think that is the strongest advantage they have between these two different lineups, is the supports on Tundra are really slow. they're really bad at rotating to mid early, and the Bounty Jakiro outmatched them there, and the Ember can take that early fight to Invoker really well with the slight chains. It gives you the reach and the catch. So that is, I think, something that has to happen in this game for Spirit to feel good.
All right, well, let's see. It's going to be an exciting one here, ladies and gentlemen, to see if Team Spirit can pull this off with their last pick, Radahn, Clinks, Tundra. It does feel like they've got sort of like an all-stars lineup with their hero picks, especially after what Saxa was able to show us with his position for Shaker, bringing that back, as I say, the first time in competitive from himself in like 2 years since he was back on the previous Tundra. So, yeah, he did it last game. He's feeling pretty hot. He won 2 games last night. He's continuing this Earthshaker win streak going into this Game 5 of the Grand Finals. And Spirit, yeah, just trying something a little bit different. Something they have tried before, didn't succeed with, but maybe they'll be able to make the Clinks work now where it counts the most here in this Game 5.
It's a tall task ahead of them. I mean, you're talking about signature heroes here for Tundra. Like, I feel like they have 4 of arguably the best player-hero combinations on these heroes in the patch.
It's got to be close to that, yeah.
It's the only one that maybe stands out is that Shaker for Saxa, but like you said, he's feeling it. So I don't even,
he's
we
crushing
don't even know if it's broken or not. Spirit have to get some work done in this laning phase. I think they have to run at the Invoker, and it Clinks, you know. You gotta, if you believe in it, if Radahn believes in it, he sees something in this hero other people don't. Now's the time to show us what it is, because this is the last game of your Dream League season. There ain't gonna be another one.
Well, let's see. I mean, how is the lane on paper? Is it an okay good lane? It's a good lane.
It's good for the Clinks. Like, Clinks Jakiro should win this lane. It's a double melee off lane. You can abuse it pretty hard. The Beast will get stick charges, but he can't play too aggressive versus you. The thing is, it's just what do you do with the lane win on the Clinks? This isn't a hero we've seen them rotate super early with. Radahn's kind of just farmed with it. So I don't know if winning this lane helps the game unless Radahn plays a lot more active than he did in that other Clinks game, which definitely can happen. I just didn't see it in that previous one. And they do get 3 runes. That's a good way to start out this game with the lineup they have. Extra gold means so much here.
And in terms of the top lane, what do you expect out of this? Because Warlock, Tiny, that seems pretty safe, right? This should not be a lane where Dracho's dying.
No. I think Warlock almost guarantees anybody free farms in this patch. There's like, it's just so much heal / damage to fight through. Tiny is one of the higher base damage heroes, so he'll just sit there CS. Whitemon can die, however.
Somebody's got the heal going, and Whitemon's ready to try and look to turn towards Rue with the help of Duracho. Rue has to back off. Whitemon's going to be fine for now.
I mean, these early waves mean a lot for Spirit. They mean a lot more for Spirit than for Tundra, I think. If they can win the early regen trades on these side lanes and on mid and kind of snowball off that a little bit, it'll count for a lot here. So you have to play these waves well. They already got the Equilibrium back top, so honestly, not a bad place to be there. And Laurel is winning the early CS battle, which is step 1 versus Invoker, because you got to take advantage of his low base damage at the start. It ramps up pretty quick. I mean, people meme about it, you know, like, oh, 46 base damage, but by level 4 or 5, you're already out base damaging most mids. So if you don't win the early waves, it doesn't really mean anything in terms of an advantage. So you got to put the work in now. And Laurel, he's doing a decent job of that. And same with this safe lane. Like, you want to get a level advantage with this Clinks versus the Beast. We already see Saxa giving a lot of solo XP to 33. I would not chase this Shaker too much down here. I would not get distracted. I would pour all of my DPS and focus into this Beastmaster and not care what Saxa is doing. Because your objective in this lane should be to shut down the Beastmaster. And if Saxa distracts you and 33 gets away with the lane, then you're going to be really sad come that mid game.
Yeah, we're done. Taking a bit of a punch here. But he is setting up for Miposhka to try and get the wrap around. We'll be able to snipe the courier, Miposhka.
Wait, is he trapped?
He is, I think.
What? What did he do?
He's just stuck. Uh-oh.
What?
What? He's just...
What was that?
How did he just got stuck in the trees.
What?
And he didn't have mana for the axes or anything. He was just stuck.
He had no mana for axes, no quelling, no tangos. He just ran into a corner and creep trapped himself.
And just died.
That's like
Oh, no,
that might be the worst thing I've ever seen 33 do.
he's never going to go anywhere near that point again.
I mean, maybe just a map misread of like where the exit ways are, or didn't realize he had no mana left. That's incredibly awkward. He's usually he's like the archetype of the cerebral player, you know? Like thinks everything out, all these theory crafts. He just traps himself. Bizarre.
He's got to be careful.
That's one way to win a lane, you know? Just
Yeah. Or top Sunstrike. Ooh.
nice dodge. Super nice dodge. The tree. Not enough.
Roof.
Drew gonna get this?
Finish this. Ah, no, Shadowwood Hills come out from Whitemon. Maybe Whitemon, though. They've got Spear. Ooh, nearly getting the angle to drag him back into the tree. It turns from Duracho, got some views back up. They're actually able to still finish the tiny kill.
He was 4 mana short of that level 2 Avalanche. That would have killed maybe both of them there. Living life on the edge.
Slight change setup. Meposhka comes in with a wraparound, offers up that extra bit of damage for them to take down BZM. 4 minutes in, they're getting these early kills. They're getting that early lead that they needed, Avery.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see. And that Meposhka gank is huge. We see the tip come out. Like, that's a game-winning gank, potentially. You need these early kills against the Invoker. And look at the mid-CS, Owen. 22 and 12.
It's crazy.
This is what you can do versus Hero. We haven't seen it in a lot of the other games BZM played this Hero. He got away with this. He got strong Sunstrike kills. The dodge top, the gank mid, the CS performance from Laurel. They're hitting like everything to shut this Invoker down, and they're going to try it again.
Now, Saxa is going to head over to make sure that BZM doesn't get dove this time.
It's still a lot of pressure on this mid lane. It's opening up the bottom lane for Radon. They're just going back in.
I mean this is... They've got the sleight of fist onto the two of them.
Is he dead?
BZM. Yes, Saxa can't save him, I don't think.
They just don't care about him.
As his Invoker's going to get taken down. And Saxa also going to fall with Rune rotating over. They're going to get both of them.
I mean, this is what I was saying in the draft, though, and like this is the attack point for Spirit. There's nothing Tundra can do to fight in this mid lane, and they're getting dragged into it. I think you kind of just had to sack it in a way, because if you bring your supports here, you're not fighting Jakiro, Bounty, Ember with Shaker, Invoker. Like, what spells do you have? You have a level 1 Bonds, a level 1 Fissure? There's just nothing here. They're falling into the trap right now, and Spirit, they're blowing this game open with the biggest opening they had. Laurel's already level 6. This is a huge advantage on the map.
Dire's courier has been killed.
And couriers too.
Yep, we're able to take that out up top as he reaches around behind the tower. I mean, it's going to be a tough one. Like, where does BZM sort of go to catch back up here as this level 4 Invoker?
I mean, nowhere. He has to get Sunstrike kills, but because you're losing the other lanes, you're not playing aggressive on them. You're not setting that up. 33 is already in the jungle. No one can lane mid right now. They're zoning them off of XP, losing entire waves here. He's going to go bottom, I guess. This is janky.
I mean, Saxa, he tries to step up to get some XP in this mid lane, but you're absolutely right. No one can come here. This is not a spot on the map that Tundra can show their faces.
This tower's just gone too. Orb of Corrosion Ember with Catapult still alive. This is exactly what you wanted out of this game if you're Spirit. You drafted for it, you were in a corner, but you gave yourself outs, and you're playing towards those outs right now. And Tundra, they have all this team fight, they have all this scale, they might not get there.
And look at this. Yeah, Spirit, they're looking towards BZM on this bottom lane. And they've got the numbers, Spirit. They get the chain set upon towards him. They're going to need to bring in more Tundra if they want to try and keep BZM alive. But he's just going to go straight up down. Shot of the Shadow Word Heal coming in. It's not going to save him. The Shuriken's there to finish him off. They will have the Roar ready for 33 to set up on towards Lyle and also have the chase down for Bruce. So Tundra will manage to get some kills in return this time round. But BZM just continues to suffer.
That's a big kill for Tundra, though. They take Ember off the map. That is not a hero Spirit wanted to give up in this early game. They do get the Wisdom Shrine with the Clinks while that fight was happening. So Radon sneaks in there, at least finds something, but he didn't join the fight, which I think this is a fight he could have joined if Spirit played it a little slower. I don't know. That feels like a win for Tundra. Like, the fact you're able to roar, chain stun this Ember down, who's supposed to be unkillable in this early game, at the expense of an Invoker who's already really far behind. I don't know what Mastermind Radon's doing there, but He got the Wisdom Shrine. I guess that was the Wisdom Shrine uploading in real time, you know?
Coming up to level 7 on the Clinks. I see down bottom Brew and Maposhka. They're ready to go again. Ice Pop set up on the Sax as Radan brings in the damage. The Shaker falls. Maposhka, killing spree here. 3-0-4, 7 of the 8 kills. He's been there on this early game as the Jakiro. He's making the moves.
Oh yeah, he's locked in this game. They felt the support pressure last game. Maposhka's like, no. I'm a 2-time TI winner for a reason. I'll show you how it's done.
And then look at the BZM.
Lighting him up. He still doesn't have boots.
He's just got to stay hidden under this tier 2. If he strays away from this tower, they will go for him. They're going to start rotating up towards the top lane now with the smoke between the 3 of them, Lal, Rue, and Maposhka. So if they can find...
Nice lane to rotate to when you already have Arena available.
Oh yeah, they've got the combo. Now, Tundra, they do have 6 on Whitemon, so he will have the Golem to drop if they feel that there's a chance to fight back. It's going to be hard, though, because Duracho, he gets caught, the Arena's down, they'll immediately look to try and blow up the Tiny, and they'll succeed in that. The Sunstrike comes out, gets Collapse in return, so Tundra, they'll be able to find a trade. Collapse here falling in the efforts to take down Duracho. So they can get anything more here. They're looking towards Maposhka.
You find him.
Yeah, they cut off the escape. Can't get around it, but he'll try and throw down what damage he can. Will not live though. Maposhka also to fall. Lal, he's thinking about getting back in on this. He's in with a slight change on the boat. Radan comes through the twin gate in perfect position to lay down the damage. Rue pokes in from the low ground. They get the double kill for Radan. Saxa will manage to finally kill with a Fisher. Sunstrike is going to get dodged by the slight of Fist from Lal. And Radan just continues this cleanup. Triple kill for him. Change to hold on to Duracho. The spear for Collapse locks down the Tiny. They'll be able to clean up Duracho as well. As Radan turning up there from the other side of the map at a beautiful time. 3-0-3 now. That is the dream sort of involvement you want early game for your Clinks.
100%. This is what we didn't see in that other Clinks game. This is a hero that can fight early. Doesn't need much. Does a decent amount of damage and just lines them up. The only downside for Spirit here is the bounty went down to that fissure, because otherwise you're getting tracks here on top of it all, as 6 was available for Rue. Another massive Sunstrike dodge. Every time you can avoid giving Invoker these kills, that's BZM's recovery. And it's out the window now. Mastermind Radan, he sees everything. And he will get another tier 1.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
I don't know, this is
more money.
This is sometimes the hole you fall into with this 4 Shaker. Like we were talking about, is Soxa feeling it? What's the upsides and downsides of the hero on this role? These early games can be rough because your spells are just not as strong and you don't farm that fast in the jungle or whatever without points into the aftershock. So Soxa's just kind of dead weight.
On top, Duracho caught in the arena. They're a little off the mark there with the spear from Collapse, but it doesn't matter. They're far enough ahead that not everything has to hit to get the job done right now. Team Spirit continue this momentum.
You know, last game, Tundra had 3 tier 1s down by 12 minutes. Spirit have 3 tier 1s down by 11 minutes here. They are outpacing the stomp that was game 1 right now.
Oh, that's just poking at them under the tower. There's nothing that can be done to save one another. Sax is just dead.
It's a track kill. His gold lead is gonna... This Jakiro's ahead of the Tiny.
Yep.
Is this hero just garbage? What?
That's the thing. Up until today, as I said, in the last month, neither Tundra or Spirit had lost a single game with this Tiny. But here in the grand finals, game 4, Spirit struggled with it. And now Tundra's feeling the struggle with Tiny. What's going on?
It's cursed. It's cursed hero or something, dude. He's behind the enemy 5. Like, when have we ever seen this? I don't know. Crazy turn of events here. And Spirit are now the ones looking to maybe just completely roll this game over.
I mean, what's sort of the plan for Tundra? What are they looking towards? Any sort of item timing, or when can they try and smoke up, try and take a sort of a punch back at Spirit?
I think you're just looking for Beastmaster to get involved, right? Get the Ags on 33, let him join the fight. You're not going to get Shaker Blink off the map. He can only get it through the team fights. And maybe some Sunstrike kills, which is dependent on the roar. And if you have to throw it out 33. Defensively...
I mean, they're going to look to chase. Shuriken bounce.
He's
It's
dead.
there. He's gone. Another
That's like
one.
worst
for
case.
Spirit.
Worst case scenario, you're giving track kills and you
And top
use
lane.
Roar defensively.
They found Duraccio. His Magnifier is down. It's a very
Just
dead
all
Tiny
wrong.
once again.
It's just crumbling. They can't stay on the map. They have no fighting. This Jakiro's ahead of the Invoker now.
He's nearly going to be ahead of all of them. Like
What's
13
happening?
minutes in Maposhka.
He is almost ahead of all of them.
Dude, he's got 2,200 gold. Screw the 4-staff. Treat yourself to a Midas.
By Dagon at this point, just start Dagon farming some kids out here, you know? I'm not even meaning. Like, you get Dagon this
This
early?
is crazy.
Dire's top tower
Dude, Maposhka is... He is
Yeah.
beastie. 7-1 and 8.
I mean, when was the last time? If indeed this continues, he's able to have more net worth than the rest of the entirety of Tundra. I don't think Tundra will have ever been in that sort of situation, right? In a game 13
no.
minutes in. That never happens.
Dire's top
I mean, that might be one of the earliest ever in the history of Dota, if it happens. Like, I cannot remember a game where 5 was ahead of everybody before the 15-minute mark. Like, that's just
going on?
so much map domination. I mean, they're abusing the one weakness in this Tundra lineup, which is the pacing, the tempo. They just don't have a lot of early game. They couldn't defend this Invoker on mid with the support duo. They got too greedy, Owen. They got too greedy, and they're getting punished for it. Amp damage on Laurel, too, now. That is a really good rune to get. Mage Slayer almost done. I mean, he is just going to be a beast with this Mage Slayer, too. That's the other issue. Mage Slayer Ember in this game versus Tiny Beastmaster, Invoker, double Spellcaster, support duo. It's the dream.
Smoke time from Spirit. They've got their eyes on Duraccio.
No,
They do have to blink on Collapse. So they've got the setup. And there it is. They don't even need the arena. Just a spear pushback. It's enough for them to catch and kill off Duraccio once again.
Another track kill. Yeah, that's a 800 gold swing. Just one kill. That's all it takes. Looking for the Jakiro domination dreams here. And Tormentor is warded up from Tundra.
tower is under attack.
I mean, this is the kind of fight that they can make a comeback on. These objective fights where they get Spirit to clump for the AoE.
Halal. Amplified damage rune, as you say. It's popped and ready to go. They'll get the Sunstrike set up. They drop the Echo. They'll be able to kill off Rue. But can they really get anything else? Collapse already starting to tease around with 33. Gets the pushback with the spear into the arena. The damage flies in from Radan. And now at the side wall, they TP out to them just in time. They're lucky to get away before the chains was back up.
He was out
It's
of mana.
Yeah, and they could clean up the Golem, turn towards the Tormentor, and just keep this snowball going.
That's just not a fight Tundra can win into the amp damage Mage Slayer Ember. Like, Laurel's just a god in that fight.
And there it is. He gets this dude. He got the blessing. So look at his net worth. There it is. 16 minutes in.
He's a monster.
The entirety of Tundra behind the net worth of Maposhka. That just never
beast.
happens. That is insane. In
Yeah,
Game
that
5
is
of the Grand
disgusting.
Finals.
That's just disgusting, dude.
Like-
I mean, this guy he is maybe the greatest 5 of all time, right? So
I mean, look at that. Yeah.
You think he knows? You think he can feel like?
With how far ahead, like
Yeah.
relatively, to compare the entirety of the team.
I don't think he thinks
I mean-
he's ahead of everybody. Because you just don't. You're like a 4-step
He's a humble
hero,
guy.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's looking at this beast. He's like, oh, this beast has Ag Scepter. Like he's probably having a pretty good game, you know. He's recovering, but like, no, you're the final boss, Maposhka. He's level 10 too. Some decent levels. And going Spirit's way in this game as well. I mean, the map is theirs. This game is still winnable for Tundra. Like, we should not count them out because they have suffered so far, but their lineup does scale incredibly hard, and they have a lot of flash farmers that can come back in this game. They have a lot of team fight that they can wombo combo to come back off spells, even if you're behind in gold. So there is still an onus on Spirit here to continue playing the map, continue getting pickoffs, and not become complacent. It's not like they have massive auras or anything being built, right? So you can't just fall back on like, oh, we're going to have Pipe Greaves here, and then the 5v5 becomes easy.
Is under attack.
Out top Radan. Eyeing up BZM. Bringing in Rue ready with the track. They're going to have him. They get the setup up on the cliff. Nowhere to run. That's a cheeky one there from Collapse.
That's a BM cliff right there.
A BZM cliff.
That's very true. And an easy track. I mean, this Bounty Hunter Invoker matchup's really nice for Bounty. Just no Ghost Walk options available. And Soxa, he's 100 off Blink.
And they're looking for him.
30 off Blink.
He's so close. He's gonna. Oh, he's got enough, but he didn't spend.
We didn't buy it.
He had enough. He's still gonna get it by the time he respawns,
yeah,
but he did lose out a little more than he needed to. Then I think someone got a. I don't know why did his money go up. Someone got a bounty or one of the creeps had. He had enough for him. Anyway, back in action. They get the track here on towards 33. Radan's in position again with the damage. It's just more track kills. They continue. Whitemon tries for the TP out, but Collapse. He's got the spear to stop him. More money, more glory here for Radan. It just continues.
Spirit just finding the pickoffs, and this is what they need to keep doing, and they're getting it. They can easily go for Roche too in this game if they want to slow it down, but I don't think they're going to Roche because I think they're just getting more out of the map than what Roche is worth. You have Vessel on the bounty, you're getting Vessel charges. BKB is already done for the Mars, by the way, which is, that's a backbreaker here for Tundra. Like, he is just immortal in the fights with that. And they're scouting out their Achio. They're looking for more.
Oh, they are. Rue, he's managed to be able to scout out quite the bit of action this game.
I mean, they can dive. 100% they can dive. With Mage Slayer plus BKB already done. Gem already out of Maposhka, by the way. He spent his gold on more map control. Just trying to remove all the vision from Tundra. And there's not a lot of it. A couple wards bottom, but that's it. All right, big smoke from Tundra. They have the Blink Shaker. Right. Gotta find something with this.
Let's have a look. Tundra. Who do they spot out first? Rue in a very sneaky spot here, ready to almost sort of dispel any smoke plays. He's gonna get eyes on Whitemon. And yeah, they get the slight change on Duraccio, so already Spirit very aware that that sort of move was coming in. Unlikely to get caught by it.
So hard to make smokes from a like closed off map position going into a bounty hunter lineup because he can just cover so many of the angles and it's so much easier to read that play. Just a really tough position for Tundra. I mean, again, their best comeback potential is around an objective team fight. Like, let's say Spirit man it for Roche and you can catch them there. If they go for the next Tormentor, you can catch them there. That's where you can get that AoE punish. That's where you can make that comeback fight. But these open map timings where everyone's just kind of farming different places, really hard for Tundra to find anything. And another quick smoke from Spirit just straight into Duraccio. They don't want him.
Let's see. And maybe see if they can get multiple heroes rather than just the one.
I mean, that would be really greedy if that were the decision making.
We don't want one, we want two, they say.
Yeah.
They want three.
Oh, they want the Wisdom Shrine.
Oh, that's true. And they're going to be able to contest Saxa to get him away from this. 33 is considering trying to fight this. And Saxa will try and run, but he'll tick out. 33 stepping up. He's got the roar onto Rue, but the arena's down. And 33, he just doesn't have the backup. I mean, there's a Sunstrike coming in, but 33's already gone. Sunstrike does not connect from BZM. It is starting to look a little desperate here, Avery.
Oh, they are definitely in desperation territory. Can this fence save Whitemon? It will.
He's dead, right? Is it Spirit Vessel not enough?
No, he's good here. He's good.
He's good. He's good.
But that's another one-team fight, more track kills, another roar that doesn't lead to anything, and you lost another Wisdom Shrine. We're looking at an 11-level difference right now, and you dropped the Golem. So now you don't have Golem for 2 minutes. They're just trying to get to Cataclysm. I mean, that's like all you're hoping is going to make a difference here. Get the Ags on the Invoker, drop a Kata, somehow get something off that. Soxa smoked up here.
Yeah.
It's a solo Shakers.
Yeah, has to get away from this as soon as that dispels. Radan's still got the eyes on him, and if the backup comes in, Saxa's just dead.
That's even worse news for Tundra because he solo smoked for that play. So now you lose another smoke that you're going to need to come back in this game and just feed a track kill away with it. The Midas Express continues here.
Rue? He's already eyeing up the next play. He's got his hands on BZM. Backup comes in. They just kill whoever they want right now, Spirit. Nothing that Tundra can seem to do to slow them down.
They're going to have to group and take a fight with Kata when they can get it. If they can get it. And just try and stop the bleeding for now. They are closing in on BKBs. They have the BKB on the Tiny, and the Beastmasters is done here as well. So maybe that'll be something they try and fight with, even if you don't have this Cataclysm. Just going with the 2 BKB cores, stun some people up, drop an Echo, drop a Meteor Bonds. It's kind of your best bet right now, because I think if you let Spirit just do Roshan here and put an Aegis on this Clinks, you're not winning that fight ever again.
Dire are scanning.
All ready to go finish off this tier 2 top. Won't be any sign of Tundra trying to defend this. They've got to just hold back and wait until those item timings fall into place to go together. Problem is, Rue's already starting to scout out some of them down bottom where they're trying to find areas of the map to get the farm in. Backups on the way for Rue. Lal and Maposhka, they're heading over. More to come as well from Spirit.
I mean, this is just such good vision for Spirit right here. The Ag's done on the Invoker, though, so Cataclysm is available. Can go for this, like, Roar Cataclysm all in play on a big core target, on some Ember or Clinks. Spirit are just not going to contest that position. They might be okay just conceding a Tormentor here to keep farming the map, get a tier 2, not take that bad clumped fight going into a high ground.
That's the tower gone. Spirit continue to get these objectives whilst Tundra in no shape or form to do so themselves.
So, will Spirit smoke or try and contest this Tormentor? I think that's an interesting decision. I could see just doing Roche in exchange for it and not giving Tundra the chance to even come back in a fight here. There's another smoke expended from Tundra. They're trying to catch somebody top, but they're late.
Yeah, he's already out collapse. Clears the wave, gets out of there, so Tundra going to pincer in onto nothing.
I mean, this has got to be like their last smoke too, I think.
They've been for a lot.
They have been burning them, and I don't think they've connected on one, right? Like the last 3 were all just wasted.
Yeah, last 3 got nothing. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, do you go back? Do you go through the gate here?
Nah, you don't go
way.
through the gate. There's no way. With they don't see them on the map, right? There's no way. They're going to send a ball through.
Go in there, bro. Instantly eaten.
It's going to continue just sending these summons through. Let's get some sort of information on the status of Spirit, whether they're still here. Well, Spirit are waiting for the Tormentor. It's up. They'll clear that themselves. They'll try with the Sunstrike Steel. That will not succeed there, BZM. The Tormentor's claimed by Spirit. Rue will get the shard.
Nice little shard pickup. Even more invis pressure on the map, straining the sentries and the gem. And White Mon will get a D-ward in the river around the Roche. Not insignificant here. Again, there's a chance Tundra can win a team fight if Spirit clump, and Roche is one of the better places to get that. Doesn't look like they want to contest. Doesn't really look like Spirit wants to do it either, though. Just looking for more kills. Can't blame them. I mean, I feel like they have gotten a lot of value out of this bounty hunter scouting.
Yeah,
Sunstrike the pit.
Yeah, seeing if the Spirit were making a move, but I don't see them in the pit, so if anything, the map's going to get that little bit scarier for Tundra, knowing that Spirit could be coming for them.
Just trying to get whatever farm they can. And hope that one team fight comes their way. Shard done for the Shaker, so Sox's team fight is online here. He's very poor, but he is not weak in a way. All about the stuns here for Tundra. If you can land the stuns first, you have a chance. That's kind of it. If you get gone on, the fight's just over. If Collapse jumps you, if you get hit by slight chains, you're going to be in for a rough time as Smoke is very close to hitting here.
They're so close, and they're going to find him. They're going to jump into 33. Will get the BKB off. BZM's able to continue to stay hidden in the trees, and 33 will go for the BKB TP out. Nothing to stop it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Radahn did manage to find Whitemon out alone, so still getting a kill Spirit, but not quite the big one. This time, Tundra able to keep their cores alive.
Yeah, they get 33 out of there. BZM doesn't die to that smoke either. Time for the Tiny to farm. Dyrachyo slowly recovering in this game.
Oh, BZM! He went to summon one more round of the Forge Spirits before the TP out. Gave time for Collapse to close in or drop the combo onto Collapse for the Cataclysm. It's not enough to threaten Collapse, as Collapse is perfectly fine. They kill BZM off. He was also just trying to make the move over to get the Shrine of Wisdom in time potentially, but yeah, got cold feet, tried to TP out. Doesn't get anything out of the move.
Yeah, and Gem on Collapse. Can't run away from that one. As 4 heroes swarm for that track kill, another 1,000 gold into Spirit's pocket. And that'll open up Roche completely. Just so much catch and setup in this lineup. It's really hard to rat this game out if you're Tundra right now. And your lineup's not that good at ratting the map anyway. So it's been a struggle. See who gets this Aegis. I could see giving it to Ember or Clinks, but I think it is going to Radahn here. He can hit some buildings too if you win a fight or get a big pick off.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, right? Yeah, you want this. You want Radahn at the front. And there we have it. Aegis, a Lincoln Sphere as well on top of it all. This is the sort of game that, you know, this is why Radahn wants to bring out this Clink. So you said, didn't work out last time, but this time, here where it mattered the most. It's working.
Yeah, he baited him with that other game, you know? He made him think it was trash, and then he busted out here 7-0-9.
Ooh, that's not a real hero. Unfortunate there.
Oh, boy.
That's a smoke and a BKB and a raw.
Oh, boy.
And now they're going to get jumped in return. They get the chains onto Dyrachyo. He's got to put the BKB. Whitemon has to drop the golem to try and give the time and space for Dyrachyo to run, but they can get in on top of him. He's going to try and go for the TP out, but the physical damage is done. Dyrachyo goes down. They're struggling this game, Avery Tundra.
They're just not finding anything. Another failed smoke. Hits on an illusion. The Tiny could have TP'd out there too. Just waited too long. They're just not finding anything.
And we'll see it again. Making that jump in the river.
I mean, that's such a nice bait.
There we go, Radahn.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's working. It really is 31-6, 21k lead. Especially when you consider how rough Game 4 was, Spirit, right, Avery? This is...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, kind of this Game 4 to Game 5 sort of summarizes the entirety of a lot of the stuff we were seeing before by them, right? You knock these guys down, but right now, Team Spirit, they're able to hit back harder than ever before, right? They're back on top. And now they're on the verge of closing up this championship title here, DreamLeague Season 25, unless Tundra can do something insane.
This has been the most dominating game from them. Like, just when we thought it was looking bad that they got figured out, no. They completely exploit what Tundra were doing, push it back against them, and now Tundra, they got all their signature heroes. They got all the team fight in the world. They have all the scale they could dream of. And they're never going to get there because Spirit just want to end this game right here, right now.
Yeah. BZM trying to get the setup here on towards Radahn. Radahn's going to get forced out to safety, and of course, still 3 minutes left on this Aegis. So lots of flexibility for Spirit to continue to go for whatever they wish.
There's just so many defensive items. Like, Lincoln's on the Clinks, Lincoln's on the Mars as well. An early Mars Lincoln's. Really rare we see this. And Shiva's on the Ember. So all three of these cores are just nightmares to try and initiate on.
Dyrachyo. He's trying to head out. He's got a BKB and run.
He's got TP back to base. He's just right outside the base.
That feels pretty rough. Tundra.
Pretty much two choices.
Yeah, what you got? What's the plan?
I was just going to say, like, you can either just try and keep catching him or you can go high ground. And it feels like Spirit just want to keep killing him.
Tries to push at the bottom wave, but Collapse is already there. I mean, the entirety of them are already there. But they're just ready for them. They're just not letting Tundra do anything.
Was that? That was like quad TP, right? Just instant quad TP. Ruin this guy's day. Broach now done for the Clinks. Even more damage. Hit that level 20 as well. Extra strafe attack speed. This is where this hero becomes terrifying because his DPS is absurd. With the Mjolnir procs, the mischance from the talent, the broach hitting, especially into some of these high armor heroes like the Tiny. You're just going to shred him. Still have Aegis here too for a minute. You really want to push it.
Tier 2 at the least will be theirs. Tundra, they got to put everything together for the high ground defense. Running outside of the base. A little too much right now. Blink for BZN. They've got everything in line to try and set up for this perfect team fight. But they've got to catch Spirit in a way that Spirit have just not let themselves be caught at all here in this game 5. So very difficult for Tundra to do.
Yeah, it's almost impossible. You have to land a big bonds as well, which means you got to make them clump. You have to land a multi-hero echo. You need the roar to land, which normally is not hard, but into this double Lincoln Sphere could go wrong. They throw one on the target, the 33 jumps. He did go blink 4 staff on the beast, so he has some Lincoln's break potential. But yeah, there's a bunch of Gale Guards to eat through as well. I mean, there's just a lot that needs to sync up here for Tundra. And they are a team that's capable of doing it. But they also don't have the vision. You look at the map right now. There's like not a single dire obs on this map. So they see nothing. They're just going completely blind, hoping it works out, and they get scanned anyway.
33. And they're going to see them here, and then they get the jump on towards BZM. BZM, caught by the chains, will try and push them back with a deafening blast, but he's stuck in the midst of it all. Spear into the God's Rebuke. Collapse finishes him off again. And now with the chains on 33, they might try for more. Put the BKB, turn with the Ron to Lal. They're going to try and focus the Ember Spirit down, but he's able to jump out with the Remnants. In fact, he just jumps straight back over towards Saxa. They kill off the Shaker, collapses in with the Arena, traps 33, 33 to fall. He's out for a minute without buyback. They can't even get Lal. The team forcing him back to safety. Ice Path on towards Duracho. He'll try and jump in with a combo hit. Saxa, he's been able to blow up Rue, but can't get anything else. He cannot. Radan and Lal stand their ground, clean them up. Whitemon trying to TP out. He will make it, but the other 4 are dead.
I missed the review,
called.
but
They've done it.
That's it.
That's it. GG's called. Game 5 in the bag here for Team Spirit. And with that, they're going to take the championship title here. Dream League Season 25. Team Spirit, they've done it, Avery. They're back at the top, and they're better than ever.
I think there were a lot of questions with, Toro and Collapse returning. How good was this team going to be? Are they going to instantly rise back to the top? Were they going to just dumpster everybody? Were they going to struggle to find their momentum again? But this is a big land win for this team. Huge win for Rue as well, right? Like giving this young kid confidence on this roster with all these TI winners, knowing it's something in the back of your mind, right? Where it's like, do I belong with these guys? Are we actually going to win if I'm on the team instead of Miro or whoever else? And now he has that. He has that confidence. He knows he belongs in this squad. And what a game 5. Bringing this Clinks out, not a hero I think anybody would have been able to predict. It goes 9-0 and 13. Maposhka just destroyed that game. Like, he effectively won 3 lanes. He was higher net worth than all of them at 15 minutes. I mean, what is there to say about this team that hasn't been said? Like, when they are in grand finals form, they're the scariest team in the world. It doesn't matter who you are or how good you've been recently.
Yeah, and that's just crazy. Yeah, to do it with this last pick Clinks. Something that no one else had picked the entire tournament, apart from that one time where Team Spirit gave it a go, and it did not go. And that was against Tundra, the game, of course, that they lost. What was that? Game 1 or game 2?
It was game 1.
So long ago. It was game 1. It was game.
No, it was game 2.
1 of this grand final. It was game 2.
Game 2.
Yeah, game 2. They tried it. It didn't work. But now back in game 5, they're like, it's been a couple of days. Let's give it another shot. And you can't really ask for much more than that, right? It ends the game 9-0-13. He has a brilliant time. Clinks, is it back, or is this just a Radan kind of thing, Avery?
I think it was just a really good read of the position they were in, because we were talking through that draft of how they were not going to get more team fight. They were not going to get more scale. But you don't need it in Dota if you can run the other team over and abuse their support through around mid, abuse the early fighting with a carry that comes online way faster than the Tiny, right? That was the game plan. They executed the game plan. It's not a style we see Spirit play often. That's why I was kind of like iffy, right? Because Spirit's kind of a slower team. They're a comeback team. They're a team 15. But they just ran them over here, dude. Tundra were not ready.
Yeah.
And they took full advantage of the trends this series was going on. A very cool adjustment, not something I think Tundra expected. And man, what a way to win in style. You know what I'm saying?
It really was.
Spirit's got style.
It really was. I mean, just the run that they made as well, right? We look back at the trip that Spirit's been on through this playoff bracket. Started off, taking down Chimera, the team that everyone, was very excited to see, Chimera, how they were going to do. They'd made this, the team that didn't exist, I think no longer exists, right? They did disband, and we already knew that when they were playing this tournament. Spirit, they get that 2-1. At that point, maybe you're like, well, you know what? Chimera, they probably just, they were starting to crumble. Does that victory mean that much? But then in this lower bracket finals, 2-0 against Paravision, one of the teams considered to be a potential favorite to take the whole title. Then it's like, all right, this Spirit, they're absolutely back. And then in the beginning, part one of the grand finals on Sunday, what we started to see there, right? This was grand final tournament winning Team Spirit. Like we already saw it right in the first 3 games, right, Avery?
Yep, they were coming into their form. People were starting to feel it. Then we got this game 4 today, and it's like, no. Did they lose it all? But no, they're still in form. They are absolutely cooking people out here, and this is going to be a scary team over the course of the year. Both these teams, honestly, you're probably looking at like the 2 best teams in the world in a grand final situation, right? I think Parivision's up there for sure. I think Falcons can compete with them. Who knows what Liquid's capable of? But like you're looking towards, EWC or TI down the line. You just don't want to play against these 2 teams in a best of 5. It is just terrifying.
No, and for Tundra, they were very much looking at this tournament to just sort of add it to the list of the ones that they've been winning so far on quite the streak this year. But I think even for the Tundra fans out there, it's good to see the competition, right? That this year, after those first 2 ones, maybe it's like, okay, it's just going to be an easy walk in the park for Tundra, event to event to event. But here we have them getting beaten by Spirit in the best of 5. The challenge has arisen.
Oh yeah, this is the final boss. I think Spirit's always that final boss lurking out there. When you become a good team and you start to challenge people, right? Whether you're Falcons, Gaiman, Liquid, Tundra, at some point Spirit comes back and to ruin your day. You have to deal with them, and I think it's good for Dota. They're such a fun team.
Oh,
it
is absolutely.
I think everybody is a fan of the way Spirit plays the game. They're not cheesy. They're not one-dimensional. These guys team fight. They play the map. They pick unconventional stuff. Like, what other team is going to go back to the Clinks in a game 5, right? The amount of confidence it takes to do that, it's absurd. So, kudos to them. I think they are absolutely returning to form. I don't even think they're at 100% yet, honestly. That's the scary part. They still have some room to grow here, but well played by Tundra, too. They have had a really strong start to this year, and it continues here.
Yeah, and it will. Yeah, you know already after this one, Tundra, they can't wait to try and find themselves in another best of 5 grand finals with Spirit. They're ready already to try and tackle them once again. So can't wait to see that happen whenever it does down the line with a beautiful selection of events that we are going to have ahead of us this year. And I mean, as you say, just the little things as well. The fact that they leave that Tiny in, and it doesn't matter. So Tiny did not have a great day today, Avery, and he's had it great every other day. So maybe it was a long time coming. Surely this hero can't be broken forever. And today, both teams managed to prove it. Maybe it ain't that great sometimes.
Yeah, kind of a funny turn of events. Like the one hero maybe did not expect to see, and it just got dumpstered twice completely run over, exploited in a lot of different ways. So the meta will always be changing in Dota 2. You can never just sit on something forever. And I guess that break really, they thought about Tiny. Both teams thought about how to dumpster Tiny. They came in and dumpstered it.
They did, yeah. And after game 4, it's like, well, I guess it can't get dumpstered harder than that. Well, it could, with what a Spirit did against it in game 5. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that is everything from us here at DreamLeague Season 25. You've been amazing, as always. Hope you've enjoyed the action. Again, obviously, unfortunate circumstances that we had to do kind of the grand finals in 2 parts. But at least we still got the full 5 games out of it, so that's always nice. And I'm sure the Team Spirit fans out there, and as Avery said, just Dota fans in general, happy to see another team be able to challenge that position 1. Are going to be happy with what they got to witness today. And congratulations to Team Spirit. As you saw in the charts, they're taking away the lion's share of the EPT points from this event. And any final words for yourself, Avery, for all our beautiful viewers at home?
No, I mean, I'm looking forward to what these teams are going to do in the future. We have Raleigh coming up in like a month, right? And a lot of these teams are going to be there. It'll be interesting to see what the meta looks like from now till then. And I could easily see these two teams being in the finals of that tournament.
Oh, yes. So yeah, we're going to get this grand final again, I'm sure. Multiple times this year, Tundra and Spirit are going to be meeting in a best of 5.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think in terms of grand finals, this was overall, when you remember the games from Sunday and from put today, this was one of the best grand finals. So absolutely every reason to look forward to seeing these two teams meet again at the end of one of the many tournaments to come. As you say, Rally, the next big one on the EPT for these teams to try and grab those points and secure their spot going into the Esport World Cup. Well, as I said, I won't keep you guys and girls anymore. You've been amazing. I hope you had a beautiful day and you enjoyed watching the action. Congratulations one more time, Team Spirit, the Dream League Season 25 champions.
As I was going over Kilgarry Mountain, I met with Colonel Farrell and his money he was counting. First I drew my pistol and produced my rapier, saying, "Stand and deliver, for I am a bold deceiver." Mushering da ma do da ma da. Whack for my daddy-o, whack for my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. The gold and silver coins, they did make a pretty penny. So I took the money home and I gave it to my Jenny. She bowed and she sighed, she never would deceive me. But the devil's in the women, for they never can go easy. Mushering da ma do da ma da. Whack for my daddy-o, whack for my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Next morning I arose between the hours of 6 and 7. The guards were standing o'er me and their numbers are uneven. So I flew to my pistols, but again I was mistaken. She'd